Plus. Mdara.
Atigo.
Motenga claim kwa Mdara.
Wati? Claim wati?
Mwachara mchika asombo da zvese izvozvo.
Hey, something. Did you move your motor? Inda.
I know Badara parking.
Badara parking? How is residential neighborhood here?
Saka pakan the designated commission on the back. The pay license the motor zikezi ripana.
Iwe. Saka uri wafana wemgeta urara masei. Zvinane zvipi zvekuti ageze mota pane kuti aite mbavha.
Azvina basa Mdara.
Uri kuti pake papi chap. Ndipape ndofana kupaka chap.
Muyadhi mako imomo. Plus ndo munogezera mota. Mako yamo kuti zadzira mataka.
Ungomira nedola chete wakusiya mota yangu chiclaim hapa.
Ndamari Mdara.
Ngazani last time akene nebandira rangu repondo. Kuti ndikaenda futa mudzoke ke.
Saka Mdara autogare kuno wewe.
Iwe ndava kuzotora murwere ndakuenda naye kukaranda kumandaro inoka. Apona ndiro 60 ko munhu wanga kandifira.
Mdara takangofanana Mdara. Inini mhuri yangu ikufane nzara. Nani 2 months nakutambira. Maybe watonfoka 60 kaka nina totambira zo this month.
Yomba ndakayoka. Aundaro so mra. Ndakufuna boss wako. Ndakubudisa basa manje.
Bomdara. Inda kutofonera team reka yo tora mota yako. Plus kamda kufonera Mdara Mzinga. Ari ku Vic Falls ku conference.
Imbwadze vanhu man. Mutoti mari yekuenda ku Victoria Falls kuita conference. Maroti ari makomba so. Ukadriva marare soka. Unofunga kuti mota yako yakafa. Unozopinda muroad chaimo ndopoona kuti aiwa izi mota iroad. Capital City igubi ine one robot. Zvinanogadzisa mota yangu suspension vanopa kanzu mari.
Mdara yakubatsirike. Izvo zvondimisa pana muchifunza kuya nenyaya yakanaka nini.
Kuya nenyaya yakanaka payapika uchidandira 60 mari apa get away man iwewe.
Mdara ndakudza wana isendatambira. Chimboten nditengere wana wangu.
Ingandambutaura wano kuti ndine munhu here mufana wako.
Asa bo indakubaya. Sister! Hadi nipe wallet ya Mdara. Unota ndikuziere Mdara mu-TV. Muritora mari United. Ani madzingira fraud.
Kudai ndakaba sendisiri mujere. Sendisiri mujere. Iwe. Yoga. Ndipo? Ndopowe mari yangu asunungure mota.
Ndatora mari yangu. Last time waenda na mari yangu. Oi. Ndipo.
Kuba hivi.
Ndipo kange.
Usada.
Baby, ndipo.
Sadar panofa.
Sara mateta siku hapa naenda.
I think he may be
Kamesi nombolo.
Pa. Tichita zvevanhu.
Baba.
Tichitaura nevanhu. Takoka vanhu vanomirira vanhu.
Vanhu vanobva kuvanhu.
Vanobva kuvanhu.
Kwete mbwende.
Thank you so much for supporting us from day one. Thank you. Rambai Makasimba.
Yep.
Keep on supporting us.
Yep.
Keep on following Bustop TV in all social media platforms. Please keep on inform us. Pane dzimwe nyaya dzimwe dzotijamba. Please macomments mamoramba minesu. Link ripo kuti tikwanise kutenga mvura skoko akwanise kunge achimwa urwa hwake achita sei. Takapurumisa maakwa kati takadzitiropo maakwa ndiani anza.
Mwana wese akwa.
Mwana wese
akwa. Comrade mashuka nechirongwa chemaakwa munokwanisa kutorawo akwa yenyu apa.
License. Una musina license.
Saka varukwana muchirongwa.
Problem activist ka ndekufocus on resume change kana na personal life. Vanogona comrades vakasiyana vasina license ka. Wozoti muso notice struggle vakupisa notice mota itizo driver.
Ndine mako ari kubhoba.
Ndepasane sose.
Sosa kuma
ina basa.
Tuzeru maactivist akusina zvere kuti sosi.
Mari. Unethical but legal.
Zviri zvebasa izvo.
Ndezvebasa.
But sataenda kurestereka. Don't go to congratulations na master.
Thank you.
Masters. Anyway, worry now. Beti mutanga taintroduce awo tozodzoka kunyaya yawo tina comrade nasi mawani. Sangana nevanhu chief.
Yeah, my name is Liam Takura Kaninga. I'm a political scientist and a Marxist, former student. A former student leader.
Okay.
And a father.
A father?
A former student leader.
Wow, yeah, it's gonna Balashi, wow, yeah, go.
Fuck.
Wow, Andina. Andina Look at wow, gacho. Yeah, thank you so much. We are on short notice. No, zanda kumutsa
Crazy.
But hey, thank you so much.
And kamukiro kaitaredzo ndiwe vanhu zvechokwadi.
Vaita zvevanhu. Because kana personally ndisina kana energy.
Wanafana wako.
Baba.
Mabogus activist.
Kokutemba my activist was like Churunga was like no, don't worry. Jeresi manyemwe. I think the Jeresi are a message. How far is that? Guys, did you see the message in the group? Did you see the message?
Pagai.
Yeah.
Masters.
I think you guys.
Masters in what?
It comes in the media.
Yeah, no problem. Comrade. Education system.
Grad
student.
Baba, it was some products on the usage of satire, how Bustop TV uses satire to speak
low hanging fruits
to power. I think so, man.
Manje ariko low.
Okay.
Guys, msasaze skoko so skoko chichi ane masters ngoma now. Apa is law students. So I'm going to sue you.
Zimbabwe for Africa ndokona Maria ushupika ngokuti ita imwe masters. Pane chimwe chinhu mashojinzi ita masters. Imwe masters. No masters.
Unoona ba unoita mari.
So ndakaona imwe first of Zambia so I thought now our education system in Africa now ya problem kuti mwana anopedza 4 years achita degree rake and then ozopedzera odzoka oita masters of what? You usati wato practice usati waita say
further education without practical experience. I don't think a problem the education system, like it's an isolated problem unique to the education system. No, it's the political economy mdara.
Okay.
Sazwa nabereke kuti pa time yavakaenda college companies advertise pa notice board college kuti we want interns, we want graduate trainees, and my entry level employees. Opportunities were available because at that time in economy mamone one unique thing: production. Exactly, because production is the foundation of the economic ecosystem. When there's production, therefore there's development of trade. The markets have something to sell. And what? But right now we have a deindustrializing country or a stagnantly industrialized country. So how do you expect kuti now vapana vanoenda kumabasa? Kubandira pa 6 ndainetsa na Stanislaus Udenge. Angari Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education. Achiti akauya tiri junior parliament oti vakomana mudzidze kuita mabasa emaoko.
Entrepreneurship.
Then I would look at him and be like, Daraka kwani ro. Mabasa emaoko. Munyika isina mabasa acho. You know,
so that's the other issue. Ulgona kuti mabasa emaoko kuti idami yanga kuti tengesera kuti or was mabasa emaoko kwaari isiya so iGazaland.
They've already shown good they're failing the industries. Yeah.
And there are some people vasuri kwanisa kubvuma nezvazvo kuti now isusu we don't have an industry iripo inokwanisa nga ichiketa for
a well functioning. Yeah.
Just imagine mauyu mangani ma graduates mangani graduate for the past 5 years. This is
5 years later. Quite Midlands, besides Midlands State University produces 5,000 graduates a year.
So it's a man scheme.
Go use it.
And it's home to more than 23,000 students across 4 campuses.
23,000
across 4 campuses.
Hakuna production.
Kune machurch. Ukangoona nyika yaane machurch neng'anga dzichiadvertisa ichinzi ya industry. I think the problem yedu yekutanga yatakakwanisa kutanga kuita isusu senyika isusu. Kuti accepta kuti ukaenda kwa mabhiza ukaenda ku nhamo yako yapera, ukaenda kuchechi kwa magaya, ukaenda kwa makani, ukaenda kupi nhamo yacha sei yapera. Anditi ukaenda kwa nzira, ukaenda kupi, ukaenda kwa mwazha nhamo yapera. Ukaona ukanetseka but vanotaura pastor achirwara anonzi ngaiswe mari yakaenda kuclinic. Iwe ukarwara
receive your anointing.
Besides kuti pastor achirwara every month unenge uchienda mari yegrocery yapastor upkeep yapastor.
Mataura nyaya yekuzoni magraduates epa MSU 5,000 per year.
If you don't go to pay graduation ceremony, per graduation ceremony 5,000 students have degrees conferred to them.
Yeah, that's big number. My youth waya kubuda pangine. Akawanda my youth. Then twenda ku
akawanda vaskana.
Seriously?
Yes, majority of students at MSU are female.
That's why we show
That's why.
It explains a lot.
Almost about 52% of students at MSU are female. So imagine.
I'm
not sure.
Roughly.
I use it. I'll be speculating.
Oh, okay.
I'll be speculating. Also, I'll be speculating. But these are not so big universities. No. I'm not. This is not that banter at Mayuba.
Yeah.
Population-wise.
MSU is big.
The student population use it cut. It's not as big as MSU.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because MSU, there's Kwekwe campus, the Amazon campus. But here is such a functional side. Yeah. But still, we have that Tier 1 campus.
Yeah.
And it
Shawani.
And it we have Tare Yagun's Manicaland State University.
All right. This is green.
Then Mugweru Mune Batana campus, Mune main campus, Mune Tier 1 campus.
Yeah. And also even so like they
slowly,
yeah,
obvious.
I think they're closing in on.
Wow, yeah.
Hey, they've been closing in on the Bulawayo campus as well. I think with the Zarare campus as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pagawandu. Itora Mar United. That is Well, I think that's the main reason why vakwanza makambas and also vachitora vanhu many issues about fundraising for my salaries, for my PDM avo.
Yeah, it's true. Because
so vakomrades musari maenda kuwindi kuti pamuna pese vanota 5,000 23,000 whatever muri kumboona kuti varungu vanozonyangarika tinovaona kusvika kwe-A level varungu ava varimo mazvimaschool. Why is it varungu vanongonyangarika vari kuenda mauniversity api
mukuda varungu kuuse it here?
No, ndikuda kutaura something
kuti mwana anobva
kuti mwana anobva Peter House anditi murungu and then atichawaone.
But they're not going to be here. We have to be realistic because those guys are not part of us already. Because if I'm from DZ and I'm not, you can't expect me to go to Peter House. And they have their own. The issue on Marungu is already they have noticed the rottening of these institutions. And use it as far as I'm concerned. Use it. We might claim is the whatever highest level of whatever, but we need. It's also personal. Besides I introduce our room, it's also personally we can tell. Use it. It's no longer as a reputable source. And you have my graduates. We know that for a fact. And in this, then under Murungu. 2026 and as I'm going to so mwana wangu iko
no, but
the question
I don't think it's a matter of credibility in my institution.
Yep.
No matter how credible like Zimbabwean institutions are, I don't think children of the bourgeoisie will be still attracted to come and do their studies there. Why? I look at it this way. Part of my full-time commitments in Tinoshanda at an elite school. It's unfortunate I can't say the name, but I work at an elite school.
Today,
for accountability purposes.
No.
You're now protecting bread and butter issues. Comrade, you are no longer.
But anyway, at that elite school, I did it. Already started mwana. The good thing is that vana vatori college ready kudara. Vano grumwari college ready. So talking to a form 3 kid, I started, I'm thinking, I like tech, I like ICT, I like programming, Python, okay. So are you learning it at school? No, I take classes like after school. There is a certain guy I know on Python. So I'm thinking by the time I finish, I want to go to college to MIT.
Oh, those are college
you see, but do you get MIT in USA? And it move I know majority of the senior debate team and the previous year, they went all to learn in Europe and the Americas. So these are black bourgeoisie, by the way. So now imagine the Caucasian bourgeoisie, the European descent bourgeoisie.
Obvious.
But the question, we can't dismiss that question because even in South Africa, they have got the Mabuani universities out and even vakudzikira nawo vanototiza mamwe mauniversities akaita sana Joburg,
Stellenbosch, UCT, Witwatersrand.
Uri kuona vanga vari pavhitsi yanga iri yavo but izvozvo vakutoitiza because vanga vakutoclaima kuti there are a lot of vakomana vakuuya
student movement papachikoro nguva yese yese. But also what I think zvinokonzesa kuti tisaone the white kids local universities is because angosora ngozvoni takabhaizonzoni mabasa emaoko varungu mamaina vanorhana vanoti vanawo vaita zvinhu practical uyenzo kuti dzidzira kugadzira tractor, dzidzira kugadzira machinery, so they would prefer to either something chinozoedza value
game park. But I think guys were missing the point here.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're missing the point. Once we think kuti varungu they sort of are telling that kids could that myth is wrong.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing of saying kuti even now they're teaching their kids could this is right, guys.
But it's not like
pane varungu okay, the dominant population yevarungu, people of European descent vari muno muZimbabwe. I want to say this. There's a difference between Murungu and Mchena.
Yeah, true.
Haritatos na Mr. kind of Wagenston. Vakatosiyana vanhu ivava vari true. Ganda ravo rakada kufanana but class
even utoriona.
So vanhu vazhinji of European descent vari muno muZimbabwe vane upfumi hwakawanda. Say that they are captains of industry, they run certain kind of businesses or they own farms. And so pa farm paya and it's family heritage. You see, it's a family business. So there is no way you can expect him not to groom his heir to run that business.
Yeah.
So mwana to no, if you have to make in my check-ins, should I check out muga, it's not necessarily that there's a secret around it, but there is a need to it.
Yeah.
The family business has to be what? Inherited.
Yeah.
But it's not really a myth. I think I expect mine babaka nenga wakagara pa 3543 unit D. When they teach anything about a family business.
But in why is it my business not mapano kufa munhu wani anobaenda mina ndakuenda ndikuti why is it vane mabusiness acho anditi vana machipisa paanoenda machipisa wacho atoenda business rake ratoenda sei ratoenda tenda kana aenda tenda keke aenda andiri kuona saka zvinhu zvedu ndezvedubious.
No, I don't think so.
They are not representative
so.
of all black business.
I don't think so.
But
it's this mentality which is wrong. This mentality of thinking with my they are superior than us.
But they are people representative of black.
It's only that there are not many talked about. So that's the other unfairness of history. There are not many businesses are black owned that are talked about.
Let's get him out.
But so for example, right now, I'm still trying to scratch my head to really talk about business. But I can talk about how Strive has been running Econet, at least from what I follow in the papers. Already it said that he was grooming one of his children to run the company. You see? So we actually know that Strive is a succession plan. So I think what lacks for my business is anatenda kurakurerwa machipisa mtangazi. Maybe nyema succession plan. Succession plan. But also let's look at those people. Kuti Maria wakaita. Pane bhuku ra Peter Dutoit rinonzi Capital's Gambit and the rise of a few and the rise of a few. You know, it was the ANC billionaires, Capital's Gambit and the rise of a few in South Africa. And pane chapter yekuti Dutoit discusses it was an association of black business people. You know, if you go to South Africa, there's what we call Maponya Mo. Yeah, Maponya was one of the first few black South Africans to own BMWs. You see, how did they benefit? They benefited from white capital renegotiating its position in the post-colonial state. So it created my programs. I had to accumulate all my assets. Exactly. You know? And that's how this, but that's how they rose. Saka yanga iri ma product of lottery.
Marana ga iswa mu
so then it's also to praise because well kana van vatema that are actually putting it a name kuti munhu mutema ita say abudi rent they did leave legacies because tichiri kutotara nezvokwa machipisa nasi inini I think ndanjiri primary pandavana mabhazi kwakura kurerwa taitokura kurerwa njeno blawa kunoona moms anditowana but ndo zvinoitika ipapo kuti sa zvinhu izvi zvokuti let's look at the source of that wealth is that source of wealth sustainable as a heritage
comrade ndombo uzosai mimi amnamboti ka background kembali mambo kapa zvenyu ndikuti isusu tine correct me if I'm wrong kuti tine 10 seats anditi are reserved for my youth
from young people yeah
parliament anditi out of 208
yes
anditi inclusion here kana kuti it's just a participatory trophy kana neutralize ngonzi management yengonzi isi tozorowana pa 10 paya and then tobvataramwa bvatatanga kuti haini handichaite zvizvi because kwangotorwa panashe nekuti panashe ane magaro ningi anga ari munhu aidyiwa nanhingi chichichichi. Is it participation in here kana kuti ka-inclusion here kana kuti participation trophy yengonzi?
I think what our answer is liberalism, and it convinced Africa mostly that emancipation is in representation.
Which
is not true. Of course, the people have to be represented, but their emancipation is not within the representation, particularly in the bourgeoisie parliament. And because what happens is this.
Parliament.
Exactly. No, that was 10 my youth wakapiwa 10 my GD6. So I don't get a color part or a color revolution. The issue is young. It's no longer. You understand? I'm not watering down on my efforts.
But
what I'm trying to say is, of course, there has the record, like the results have not been as tangibly pleasing, and in terms of delivery, you know, we haven't really seen vibrant youth contributions in parliament. But also Panama whipping systems in my political party. But anyway, be that as it may, what I want to say is 10 young people are in parliament, but that's not the hallmark of representing young people. The youth bill has not passed. You see,
but when 10 they're gonna do.
You see, the Consolidated Higher and Tertiary Education Act is not even like the conversations around the Consolidated Higher and Tertiary Education Act have not been brought to Parliament, and some of these people vakatopinda Parliament ne youth quarter, including some other young people vakatovoterwa. Vanhu vangatori former student leaders.
So they understand the struggles of students.
They actually understand them, they are familiar with them, but they have not. Because so but young people cannot assume because those few are now in Parliament. So revolution no, the idea is about fighting a system. Because the capitalist system that dominates the state in Zimbabwe is consolidated around the logic of patriarchy and ageism, which is why we have age limits to lead this country. Where something that has no scientific proof or scientific guarantee to establish why someone exiting their mid ages, probably has midlife crisis, is the most qualified to be president, and someone who has dementia is the most qualified. But nobody tried and tested. You were tried and tested because you had a long time to make mistakes while they were looking at you. You see, so that system is ageist. Then when it's pushed to the brink, because Africa is the most youthful population
in the world, yeah.
You see, almost about 46% of Africans are between the ages of, I think, 15 and 18 and 35.
35.
Yeah. So, and that is the working population. Vashandi. So the working population, remember, higher unemployment and a deindustrializing economy. So, vakapushwa to the corner, vanotama. And it development studies on youth bulge theory. The more and the longer young people are excluded, that's how angry they become with the system, and that's how much they develop propensity to overthrow the system.
I don't think that theory is working in Zimbabwe.
No, there is something that we have to look at. To fight the system, and revolution, they think guns and red flags. Sometimes a revolution does not occur in that way, especially in a postmodern state like now, the state is monopoly over violence. Panama youth, aita petition, and you have noticed how a lot of young people are now becoming politically provoked.
Yep.
Not active or directly involved, but politically provoked. That anger is dangerous. So they know it, Madara. So what do? They tokenize. Of what I know, 10 slots. Antivakazi, Pakasumka women's movement. I remember Madeza Nandri intern Kuwalpi. Iowa, women's quarter, say, Cha-extend. Apa yaka-extendwa ichiwa nechi. You remember Constitution Amendment Bill number 2?
Number 2 and it. Yeah.
Amendment Bill number 2. And it ratikaita ma-public hearings pa-COVID rere. Vakazosvika pa people were coached nema-NGOs. But it was sneaked in. And ndofuti rakatova ne-youth quarter futi.
Kubalansa zvinzikukunzwa yako man.
So you see what was happening. But that was a bill to consolidate power. That was a law, a piece of legislation that changed the constitution to consolidate power. And it. But Ragavarans on a tokenization. So representation is not the hallmark. Yes, struggle. We are not fighting for representation. We are fighting for total liberation.
But my youth, are they really participating, especially in politics in Zimbabwe? And maybe you can define youth participation.
Exactly. Yeah, and totangira about vanoti women's participation in politics. I used to argue this with Eunice Tirgo Waupe. A lot of times, Murutas of women's participation as candidates. But you forget that historically the largest voting constituents is the women's vote. Especially in African politics. Women's League. For example, 2013. I know some people believe that the election but it's one election I was convinced that Bob won free and fair. Vakaita zvoma shenanigans to soil something that they were already winning. There were many factors to explain about it, but you remember Mbare chibringa choir. Yaimobilize
No, it's mine.
Yaimobilize chi? That's my. And ukata some reports ERC nemamwe ma election focused NGOs are in Zimbabwe. I talk that majority of voters that turned out were what? Women. So women vote. But anyway, let's come back to youth participation.
Yes.
Youth participation is not just within young people taking political positions, but it's young people participating in political programs and political activities.
So tangira kuma grassroots, umaraini, paseu.
Because vanotara says nonzi akuna party isna youth wing. Saka muri chairman of my youth as youth. But the issue is the participation meaningful? Because my young people that are politically active or politically interested, most of them tinoda madharanda kuti shandisa sema voter mobilizers sema enforcers their ambitions and kutetswa matoitoi kana vakuda ma bodies to put in front pa demonstration nopatinozofunga kuti Liam I'll give you an example. 2018-2023 elections, majority of my young people, I mobilize young people to register to vote. Angari mayuba. You see, my young people. So people want young people to participate as voters, but they don't want them to participate as leaders. You noticed Nelson Chamisa when he launched his presidential bid in 2018. You remember my attack ads as ZANU-PF, I focus on the age ya Chamisa.
Majigis,
majigis. Then where would old people lead us to?
Exactly.
The future or the grave? And apana Australia got a prime minister angane 30 years. Right? So endakato leader and he led that country during one of its most difficult times. Akatoenda and it. Saka chingata so Zimbabwe titungamiro nemunhu chidiki chi. It's not necessarily that we are obsessed with becoming presidents too much.
We are. I think we are. Some youth. I think that's the issue azoitika even mu opposition or maybe could in a journey to try to topple this struggle. Inyaya kuti munhu wese arofunga kuti it's easy. I can be president. Anyone can be any nekuta atwita 3-4 then auto advisor achi on. So the
ambitions.
Yes, my tese tiketa my ambitions. Ese kuita varume mumba imba yaparana. The good thing waone mukadzi. I think you shut up. There's
a difference between committing treason and having an ambition.
Yep.
For example, I don't think it's wrong for young people to want to lead the country they're born into.
Yeah, true.
Because everything that is being done in government is done for their future, and they're the ones that will be present in their future. So it's not wrong for them to lead the process of fixing that future. It becomes problematic if it's laden in selfishness, in treachery. And this is very typical. This is very common in opposition, especially with the class of 99. They are no longer young, but it's common among them. kuti if it's not me then no one can have it.
No one.
True.
Imimi takabva nestruggle yekudhara isusu musataurira zvinhu zvekudai so matanga.
Saka ndochazibvunza so you think you are so special. Zvokuti iwo unofunga kuti musangano unopara notwatadza president.
Vafana nakomana takaenda kuona isusu 99 takatanga chinhu musipo amungosva muchiita sei muchita kutora maposition hamusite muchitiudzira.
A founder in a political organization is only useful as a repository of institutional memory. Not as a source of legitimacy. Iwe kuti anzi ndakaitanga but ko 100 years later
ndiananga founder wacho anenge aripo. So ndichidzokera futi pauyu pa youth participation papa kuti isusu tine inonzi chi young parliament, inonzi parliament, junior parliament ino vanhu 350 anditi meno.
I don't know how many they are.
I don't know how many they are right now, but out of my mind, what is 350 parliament, but ababvumidzwa kuti pasa any law apana ingori it's a circus in
parliament
no ndoti my recommendations aoka anditi my recommendations ao iwo.
I think
parliament is just for them to.
I think that's too harsh. I think it's too harsh a misjudgment. I think it's too harsh a misjudgment because I used to be in junior parliament very long ago.
Saka imimi ndisadaenda kure ini ndoda kuti taure because tiri kutaura panapa kuti saka vakomana vanogona kuti takunyarira because hamusati mana experience tokugadzirira
aiwa
musati aiwa.
No, that's what
junior parliament
is for them to groom vana.
So the issue is junior parliament and that platform, for example, I'm part of the generation that was part of the advocacy kuti child marriages are criminalized in Zimbabwe. So the issue is now, but during that time also it was because vanhu vanga vari ma patrons at junior parliament were people that understood how to make, the child parliament useful. Yes.
They involve you not you the other way. You don't come with an agenda.
I don't care the agenda, but they participated and they created something to affect you.
But look at this. Guys, from the seniors. Okay, guys. Who's even powerful, let's involve junior. But junior parliament can say, guys, I think LGBT community, let's influence because someone my fitness ngochan ngatinje mtemo so fana zeti mapupa yamukuita junior parliament. But even if they want to use them, they'll come and say right. Tawane document imchiri push up because it's America.
Yeah, pakuta crisis kuti vana vari ku instrumentalize. But the issue is that thing is supposed to be a platform. Even in my junior councils, they're supposed to be platforms where children elect leaders because not of voterwa and it kuti because I represented Zengeza East at that time and it not of even Zengeza West no kwa job ku Zengeza West but papa anga asiri kwangu na chidako.
All right.
Job papa anga ku St Mary's. So not of voterwa and it constituents more matter you represent that children in that constituents you meet regularly. I think it's just I meet pama holidays mostly kana skoro zvavarwa to sita we discuss what are the issues, then we identify actions we want to do and then ipapo food you'd work in liaison with your senior parliamentarian. You have to be in constant engagement. But vashoma vekwanza kuvashitara kuti inini ndakwanza kuita meeting na senior MP wangu kana sesu kana wanga ari cabinet oti senior minister wanga taura neni kazhinji kacho vanhu vaitowana ma cabinet ministers aiva involve ari ku youth ari ku women affairs ari ku education ari chi but of course apana mwacho anenge achingonakirwa neno ma workshop but the issue was
mapadam
nekungo travela. You see, so the problem is good mama esi madhara anozokufunga kuti kune mwana uya agenda. But that thing is supposed to be a platform to not to discuss some issues. These issues are put as recommendations. Then the relevant portfolios are supposed to forward that
I think is playing area with one
but generation
you are missing the point here. The point is a platform here and yakanakira kuti iyo vana ndo vanokwanisa kutaura nhunha dzavo handiti nhunha dzavo dzinotaurwa kunzi iwewe Job kuti iwewe makumire une makore akati but inini ndikutaura neushu anotaura kuti isusu toafectwa isusu wamanaka toafectwa nezvakati handiti iwo ndo anonokwanisa unopusha nawo kuti uite mutemo
zvakufana neishu yekuzoni azizvokunenge abortion majunior parliament ikagara pasi kati wamanaka ngatikumbire kuti senior parliament illegalize abortion vanonzi hapana.
So the question comes to, so the question now that we have to address then is do children and young people have a voice that is being listened to?
Exactly.
Are they being listened to?
Yes.
And they are being instrumentalized, ceremonialized, which is not the case. Supposed to, because if you go, Mexico also has a similar setup. I don't know which other country.
of all the countries.
No, but guys, I think the movies have they've downwashed Mexico as actually a functional country, despite yes, of course, crime and stuff. But Kiko America kwacho viriko crime. Tinototya kuenda ku Detroit. You know, but the issue is ngoti there are countries that do have junior parliaments, and those junior parliaments do work as platforms of child advocacy, because there are organizations like Save the Children Norway that invest in that thing. There is Plan International, you know, they invest in this thing. Nango muno Zimbabwe is a partner of these organizations. Yaitobatsira kusupport capacity development yema junior council.
Yeah.
So vanotoshanda like
set agenda
and to build future leaders. The only problem is kuti tirikutongwa zveginya. Zisina kana basa nekuti mwana kwachienda mbuya ataura chi. Chavanongoda ivo chete kuti tichingotonga. Because you see how people wanted to pedestal and profile mfana aikumbira motikari kuna achivhayo.
Honorable Gijima.
Ndakatonyora pa Facebook to the guy aimbove patron junior parliament. I don't know where is he now posted. Anonzulunganizwa ngoba ndikati mkoma during our time isusu our debates were about this and this and this. But no, but people are profiling this guy. But there are other debates atutarwa nemsoro.
Ndimada uyu.
Zvikanzi ndimada uyu is the media ndikati no, but the problem is when we see it right to pedestal this, there's something wrong with society.
Yeah.
So ndo pachiparungu kuti we have a state that is so corrupt to an extent that yatopevheta logic zvinhu zvakawanda.
Logic apasina logic.
Unethical but illegal.
Even students unionism chaiyo. Students unions used to be the representative platform of my student grievances. But now it's being used as a regime survival tool. You create counter yellow students unions to counter the legitimate radical students union. Create course.
But mabaya ZINASU muchifaitana na zikosi.
We didn't fight because used to fight us. And they would lose.
Oh,
we had bigger issues than to fight an extension of the youth league of a corrupt political party.
So do you think as ZINASU during a time mabaku junior parliament maenda ku ZINASU mukukura mungreen, do you think kuti pane enough funding, enough support, enough resources ekuti to develop my youth? Because in tokuziva tokuona kana iri ngoenda kuvhotwa kuti ZINASU president nopamnobudikira stereke but nepamarally nozomubudikira mutotaura kuti mastudent ari kuti zvakati want leader anorepresenta mastudent but muyaso do you think kuti ikazoshandiswa chaizvo kunazo strengthena participation yemayouth kuti guys ngatidzise mayouth kuti isingori nyaya yengoenda kutoitoi kana kwakanzi chakachodiwa mugovernment, let's contribute from police point of view, because ukangoita strong thrower chete auite impact unongonzi apana amwazi here.
But I would say kuti you know as ZINASU comrade kamugarisa apa pane munhu akazombotaura muna 2018 this other time aita radio interview naPasho, vaita radio interview naUstalos, then vaita radio interview naAshley Funya. Zvikanzi vanoku ZINASU munotenge muneka radio kamunogariswa motere. Zvikanzi your line of thought inenge iri so similar, the way you speak is so similar, your choice of words and it. What was it? ZINASU comrades know the issues that they stand for. of course, continuous capacity development and cadre development is needed.
Point is not on you.
Resources.
It's on the campus, on the communities.
Exactly.
Impact. Are you giving that impact with my youth because my students and the interact now. Are you doing enough? So it was right now, Babaga, my youth they are ready to quick for the GD6.
So that's the other thing. More can still be done, but we have to understand the terrain that student leaders are operating in.
Yeah.
I entered the university campus in the last days of Mugabe. Right? By the time I left, what was there as the chancellor of all universities is something totally different and even worse. A revisionist system. I'll tell you, there's Panama ordinances. That ordinance can be weaponized against you for just recruiting. Then number two, there is also that idea of students union. What is ZINASU and why you should join.
Seriously?
Yes, MSU. You see, they fought it in court, but fight court, but I think as a process that are complete.
And
so kuchka. Then number two, the other thing is there is this whole idea of depracticalizing activism. You know, Madara Mfana. What you wish for is a utopia, free education. But Murundu, what I wish for is a utopia.
But you must benefit from free education.
Besides, pia wangu ezera rangu ku Europe, ku Norway. And it nego Sweden. They're enjoying free education.
No, Zambia there.
Free primary education.
Let's not mishmash with Zambia. But I just want to say, you were saying when he was maybe commenting on ZINASU, I don't see ZINASU. No, what's the other one? ZINASU. When you're saying ZINASU, it's a wing of a political party.
It's an extension of the youth wing, isn't it?
Yeah, you see that name calling. We also have to call ZINASU as an extension of the opposition.
I know, but ZINASU is older than the opposition.
They are an extension of the opposition party.
We are a founder of the opposition. Don't disrespect the union.
But you see how this extension always wants to sort of think they are the brainstormers of these things. But I'm just saying, good. You see, the problem with ZINASU is the same problem that we have with the opposition. You guys, you don't have order when it comes to order. Yes, ZINASU. ZINASU doesn't have.
But president.
I don't think that's true.
We've gone for long, knowing that I don't wanna that same example about you guys. You speak from the same voice, same words and stuff. Of course, you guys seems like maybe you have a transcript or a script.
No.
But that comes from taught, yeah.
That's an ideological lie. I'll give you this. One of the most vibrant political parties in Africa, the Economic Freedom Fighters. Ukamisa branch chair we EFF up. Wamisa Mpana Sihlelonzi Parliament. Wamisa Julius up. The line of advocacy is what? The same. It is also that's a display of order. We have a consistent capacity development and cadre development or cadre orientation system that trains comrades to understand a certain worldview that informs what we stand for. And that is an organized institution. It's really different from the MDC Alliance, the MDC, and the variances of the CCC. But now, at least the MDC at some point tried to claim. Wait. At least the MDC at that time tried to say it's very social democratic. But CCC cannot really identify a worldview. But you go to ZINASU, we believe in a socialist Zimbabwe, where academic freedom and student rights are catered for. Through addressing the issue of free, equal, accessible, and quality decolonized education. And where democracy and human rights and the civic space are open enough for people to air their views. Mdara, that's a consistent line.
But
Because panoitwa my orientations. Then number 2, ZINASU has structures. And I'm not just talking about structures in terms of Pangorina, no. There is a system. There is a no, I stombori hombe. There is a system of leadership, iripo, for holding people accountable, for making decisions.
One center of power.
And it's democratic centralism.
Democratic centralism.
You know, democratic centralism. No. Agree as you may. But I'll die on my heel.
Okay.
ZINASU, title zakuti kana uchidaku kana even chero uchibva national executive, kana uchibva provincial executive, kana uchida address ma students epa UZ. Kana usida kutanga kutaura na SRC president, SRC SG, campus chairperson, campus SG. Mdara muda utase.
Amungo
uwi. It's not centered on that order is there.
Aristocracy.
Is aristocracy.
And then
no.
We begin kuzotaura aristocracy
No, look.
when it comes to government. But it begins
No, that's there's a difference between organizational discipline and aristocracy. No. We can't confuse the same.
You tried to catch him, but you didn't touch him.
No, there are certain things. Okay, let's look at this and it. Do you think it's right? Kuti, boys, you know what gives people legitimacy is what the constituents that they represent. And it can I campus chair, let's say per use it, and it or campus chair per use it. We actually understand that ZINASU and it is represented through you. Then the students of UZ within the union are represented through you. That's number 1. We are not saying kuti to promote a gatekeeping, but kuti ndiwe leader panzvimbo iyoyo. Chero ini ndikaita national leader and it doesn't give me monopoly over ideas and over space. No, not to respect as a leader in your space and in your right. You understand that community or that environment better than I do. And which is why even ku parliament chako kana mu government chako kana hurumende ichida kwenda kuti let's say rida kwenda kuzumba maramba pfungwa and energy yakunzi uzumba constituents and kwa muswe uko they can't go do a program simba neuta mudari kwa asiko. They can't do it sabuku muswe wacho vasiko. They can't do it chief nyajina vasiko because ndo vanhu vanoswera mu vanhu every day vanhu vari ku government kumusoro vasiko. So it's the same order yatinoshandisa muzinazo kana mchara but nechara nyema structures. That's the use of structures.
So comrade, ndakutiza zvangu nyaya idzodzo because I don't want kuti tiite conversation ite about ZINASU and power. But nenyaya digital activism and mariska ayo kuti akamira sei. How can we apana hashtag yambo trenda ndizvo zvizvi. Takasira takapedza so how can we make digital cloud into institutional change?
So how can we move the revolution beyond the algorithm?
Yeah.
It's one question and could deal nayo. Understand says in your context. What really brought digital activism?
Sorry kukata sara pedza ndikutaura kuti izvozvi we have realized that digital penetration right now yarise steadily. So it means that my youth vamwe vasikakwanisa kunga vari maspaces enyu we can find them saka digital cloud iyoyo how can we make it kuti inge ichisvika kuti ichange institutions. We know kuti government sometimes government officials vanombohakira ona kuti tadai so and then otanga discuss about it in a way. So it means digital iri kushanda in a way. Activism iri kuita sei iri kushanda. So
I think nyaya iripo iri pa engagement. Especially to those within the space and positioned to control resources in the space. I'm talking about both Kuma political parties, my civic organizations. And I hate to acknowledge this, but ZANU-PF has been doing that. You see how my influencers are quick to be comic elder or rap. So that's what we need to do and we don't need to make them like us.
Yep.
So the problem we've done civil society. The problem we've done in civil
So
society.
my entrepreneur civil society.
No. Indeed, I mean the civil society because I committed to work for the people. Which is what I kind of non-profit sector.
Profit man, ngatenga dzimba civil society. Profit. Whatever my GD6. That was not Elon Trump and Tasambuzoti when they were making money.
But maybe pane chandisiri kuita kana kuti hanzi andasvika. Anyway, we try. The one thing that makes it seem as if digital activism cannot be translated to institutional change is because tinoda kuimpose our logic on not just young people, even middle-aged citizens and elder citizens are influenced by social media. We try to make them sound like us, talk like us. Because kana tami engage atomdedza workshop, takumuticha language M&E, the cult of M&E. Takumuticha jargon development practice. You know, but isu chatufana kumudza ndechekuti kumudzitsa ma issues, which is why I admire Seja Zim code. Kuseja havasi kunokudzidzisa language, varinokudzidzisa ma issues. Right? Kana titi social justice mudari tutaura a world yekuti upfumi uri kugoyiwa zvakaenzana. And wotodzidziswa kunzi it's not right kuti a country is more billionaires than it is equal to the number of people that are sleeping hungry. Kana kuti wealth yenyika yese iri concentrated on 10. So that is what we just need to capacitate them on, to understand the issues, to be able to analyze society. When they're able to analyze society, then that capacity of a developer, with the influence they have, they can now speak messages. And then when we want to run campaigns, we can also do the same. And can even watch speak messages, it means they can convince people good can start up in the streets, they can get into the streets. Can not send a ballot box or say voter. I like the hashtag is it Project Vote? Youth Africa Youth Institute. You write Vomo, vote or miss out. You see? And yet or influencers. Twitter, so but the issue is what that issue, and they tried to make voting fashionable. Even in 2018, a lot of social media people who got social media trendy made voting fashionable. And it was easy to then put young people on the street. So it should be the same around other day-to-day struggles. We should be able to make sure we don't try to. But
these days, my young people are very, very not interested unless there is monetary value.
No, like
unless there is a catch. Because right now, they would want to.
But I don't know vanhu vakawanda pandotosvika in an environment vanowada acomrade avatoita izvo
abewo chikuwara kudziya makandira tuliita zvesugar
zvide zvaliye ndotogona kutonoipa liye
saka inini ndandiri panyaya yekuti the issue raise inyaya participation, youth participation and women participation, yaya yekuti there's a misconception kuti
representation
is participation. Ona zvekuti mayouth hapana asiri kuziva kuti zvinhu mahwani zvakadhakwa in a way, and ivo vega vanotonyora vachiita zvinhu zvavo, even maskits avo maita sei, even zvimauyu zvavo zvimacomments zvavo daidza kuti izvozvizvi una mamessage akuti izvozvizvi panharo tofunga kuti tofa sei izvozvinhu government pane munhu akufunga kamutemo kekuti tokwara sei nekauyu kako kawaita. So it means kuti a lot of them there.
But a lot of them.
A lot of them.
Vari kuparticipate zvekutodaro.
Tatiri kuepwezuro. Vaiti chine zuro. Just ungotaura.
Mayouth kana achitaura hatitaura isusu katiri panapa. We are elites isusu tiri panapa. Tinogona tisina mari, but by fact okuti we can be able to read an English book. And text in English and be able to some of these people kuna vamwe vanhu vanoonekwa as a dream come true to meet them, so nakana musoro, you know, that makes us elites.
Yeah, true. That's the other issue also izvozvo futi.
My youth tiri kutaura isusu kana chiti elotka pane munhu akagara izvo zvikufiyo akapfeka hembe either yezano yetriple C kana chi handiti Ndokuti pakanzi parudiwa mayouth.
Unzi parudiwa mayouth anomhanya.
Ndivo vanenge varipo. Zvakafanira kuti pane vamwe vanoti tinozoziva opposition mamayouth haazadza mudare.
Wazadza. Waona zvekuti vatoripo izvozvi ukaenda kuZANU-PF right now pane mayouth atori anodaidza kuti uripresenta president tinokumamisa ukataura varipo.
But we need to address
them.
Vakomana vave presidential anti-criticism. I need to say this.
Presidential mafia.
Even mukomana hate mo love munanga gazada akomana mukanditi mbavha 4 maninyanyirawo akomana urikuona. But it's fashionable during that time in my elections now, and they are failing to control them now. Kuti there's a time yekuti vanozongonzi amuna basa zvavanongochitaura uzongosiyiwa zvazvo, but those people
they're acting against freedom of expression.
Yeah.
So if they go unengaged and unchallenged, there's a problem. And also vachazoiona chete His Excellency. He has to put his foot down in dealing now, because even that's not what our grandparents, particularly my grandparents, went to war for.
Yeah.
No, they didn't go to war to have fanatics Mdara come and stifle the right to freedom of expression in the name of protecting the president. The president is an individual who comes and goes.
Yep.
But the revolution proceeds. And my reactionaries, my counter-revolutionary.
Aiwa. Vanopi waji
right now the wealth iri kondwa now. So kana uchida kuti unofanira kuti KT tags maiwe akomana musada mukatuka president mauzvaita and then munhu vaona something auchaona achataura achete sei.
So in other words we can say kuti mayouth achona ari kuparticipate mamwe achona inenge iri nyaya yenzara ari kudaona opportunity.
So participation iri pano too. There is meaningful participation. Then there is also the counterproductive participation. Yeah, my enforcers, my ambitions, they are used as props in violence. Izo tuta kuti mwana ngachida kuta an enabler propaganda emsangano. And I for my presidential anti-criticism team. Ivo president wachitaura kuti I'm a constitutionalist. Mu constitution mune the right to freedom of expression.
Sa muri ipapo matongo tingati adrese nyaya yekuti toita sei kuti mayouth asangoita ivo vakomana kuti vanonge vachingoembera vachiti pese pavanoita press conference yavo inyaya yekuti vanodaidzira kuti nhingi uri kutaura zvakati tiri kuziva kuti uri kutaura zvakati vari kutyisidzira vamwe they are clapping hands and guiding pamauyi toita sei kuti mayouth angari aripo ari mayouth chaiwo
are politically conscious.
Okay, you can go on.
No, I was going to say before you answer that in line adding on to that question, I feel, remember all the time I'm always saying good intellectuals. Remember
all the time you were in the fight apana.
The problem with this university parties or maybe activism thing, and it's you remember when we were having a problem ne Julia parliamentary, and it's the same thing with these guys. Before he answers that, the problem, the Tangira, we get our kids or our youth near the politics of university, but as long as upper six are what the kids. There's no politics involved to those guys. Now it becomes a problem. Telling me now to say the same speech with these guys.
Yeah.
Because now already I've and
ndinakwenda ma spaces iwawa ndawita say ndinoda kuti padeni panga pari boy chichi
anditi
yeah
now ndakutofunga pamwe vanoganza ava
oganza
Papa Skoko is right.
For the first time
we argue. Papa right Skoko kuti
political consciousness.
The issue of political consciousness, to not assume it's a preserve for people a certain age. Inini I'll tell you, I started interest in politics in Form 1. And Jairosa and my teacher I got to go. I told Iweka. Pachipata nyapata se ini ndakatakaziva kuti anonzi Morgan Richard Changirai. Paka confer honorary doctorate ndaitoshita ndiri high school. You get it. Emataza achiti iwewe. Vazvanza imamuzere bankuru wake ndikansela kauyu. because during that time the late Tichaona Chafika. Yes, ndiye angari councillor unit H kuchitungwisa. And he's my father's elder brother, you see. But ipapo mudhara vaigara vachitonditi munhu chaiye anofanira kuziva zviri munyika. But how many parents at that time vaizviita? But time iyoyo, remember, we're just coming from the horrors of death yalen mojongwe, kufa kwana tondiraendira, you know. Politics dzine
makuvaisungwa ende dzaiuika. Remember pakatorwa mombe kumusha azotaura kuti wakutadzaka watanga zvekuti takatorwa mombe kuno watanga ikoko futi zvekutaura zvokukomenda apa.
You see now. Then number chimwe chinhu chechitu inyaya yekuti political participation will always be perverted in an environment where people do not have social guarantees. Urombo.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, so I'm a Marxist and it. The way we analyze society,
That's the problem.
Problems or not, Marxism is an important tool in analyzing society. But also, we will debate whether we agree about it or not later.
And then that's a lot of things about debates.
You know, young people are usually the working population. They're either workers in transit or workers. But pano what not the lumpen. Malumpen ndo vanhu vari precarious labor. Vazhinji vacho vekuti they're either unemployed but trying to earn a living either through kutengesa, vachita sei madila, chichichi, vamwe vacho mbavha. Chinovapusha kudaro. No. No, I still have a point of advocacy for commercial sex work as a form of labor.
Abati maure.
Alright, maure.
Alright. And also roiwe.
There's a difference between ure, chipfeve,
nepambi.
A sex worker, a fornicator, and a daughter. Yes, sex is involved, but
Mama levels.
Funny new ones.
Urukona my intellectual auya. You were saying.
But I was saying, so chinova pusha kudara nditi is lack of social guarantees. The social relations of production are skewed against them. Vari kupushwa muurombo because urombo upfumi uruenda kuvashoma. Apana, like especially mu Zimbabwe pa time austerity. Since the mid-90s, time yatakazvarwa vamwe isusu, up to today, austerity has cut social spending to an extent that social welfare is dwindled so much, and it has exposed people. So people become desperate. Kana vanhu are desperate now.
And they say
corrupt leaders will come and instrumentalize.
We take advantage.
We take advantage because mpana adapiwa GD6. It's not that GD6. GD6 is a symbol.
Saka
rutsvaga chinhu chekubuda nacho
atengesa utenga deno uzotengeswa makezaziya so tiri panyaya yekuzoni buda from point yamaster yekuzoni politics to wana takura even what we consume, to consume Spider-Man, to consume all those things is very deliberate.
But those things are very political.
Yeah. But it's so bad. I think we
have no one to awaken us to politics.
That's why I cartoon on the Donkey King.
Donkey
Mangu, the king.
You know the evidence of a present father.
Donkey Mangu is a very political cartoon, and you know Chavana. Could you know vote anything about good governance, corruption?
Besides, a donkey. You know what a donkey represents? The working class. And you remember, he carries the burden of the world on his back. He is on the world's shoulder. Yes, the donkey represents the working class. So Katunia is saying, imagine at a time when a working class person gets into power.
But now you've been to Zambia, you've witnessed the political structures in Zambia. But I'm not saying for today we're going to comment much about that. But we have seen.
But in
Zambian permit.
But in Inangu. All right. You can.
But what I want to say is, I have of course, prior to 2021, inini right, I started following Zambian politics kubva patime yaChiluba. And ndaiverenga newspaper newspaper company Fred Membe ari the president we-socialist party of Zambia now, rainzi the Post. And their energy yakazochinja unzi the Master. I used to read that. I used to follow Zambian politics kusvikira patime yekuti Chiluba akatanga kudai third term, then Aaron Mazoka splitted and then formed the UPND. Right? I was very sympathetic to the UPND at that time. Very sympathetic, even up to 2020. In 2021. I was even happy when HH came into power.
Was in like 5.
Exactly. Until the time, because HH, I know represent a generation and a tendai. You know, he showed that there can be generational renewal of leadership in opposition. You see? Because Anamazoka, Changirai, Odinga, same generation. Then when I went to Zambia, until I went and stayed in Zambia, not just as a tourist, but as a working class citizen.
That's when you were like, fuck.
That's when I was like, fuck. And I became so aware to class politics. Because the UPN Duke to end up pa Wikipedia page, they're a liberal party. And they don't believe my policies, austerity, cutting social spending, you know, free markets. And those are policies and macroeconomic dynamics that work against the working class. Mdara, income tax and row, 35% of my salary. That time, don't talk about devalue our currency. And it Kwachara went out to 1:20, 25. Salary yangu was eroded. The cost of living went high. And at that time, Mdara, at that time, no, I don't overlook that. Because it's not just a mess here that he only created. There are many people. There is Lungu involved. There is Sata and Banda's especially Sata and Banda's populism was a problem.
Banda is in Sata. Okay.
Populism was a problem. And then, so Tishtar Mdara, an average civil servant to Zambia, according to recollections that I 25 pin, 5,000 kwacha. 5,000 kwacha divided by 20 mari.
But rapa 18 guys.
Energy do para appreciate a value. But papo divided by 20.
Ya mama gacho.
See, in apa you're an NGO elite ka. And it urto complain that salary yangu iriku salary ma 800 700 because they started, you know, with $800 I'm living in a foreign country. Ndufana kutumira mari kumba. I just gotten married.
No problem yanga ichitoitika because wadazotamira kumba but in Zambia kaune 800 uri right. Uri bo and Zambia for the first time a lot of people are going that you were there you were not there by talons wanachenda kunotoa medication ku Zambia.
No, it's true.
Oh, for some medication. Okay.
Wanakwenda kuchukua ku Zambia.
We are getting to that.
And a lot of people waenda South Africa Monash wakusina invest
wanakwenda Cavendish
Unilas ku Zambia.
Wakamonzwa fees ku Unilas. But anyway, what I was trying to say is kuti so vanhu vazhinji vatukutaura katasa vanhu vakafana nesu. You get what I'm saying? But kune munhu anenge achigara mukali. Exactly. Kune vanhu vanenge achigara mukali.
Problem ndeyekutaurira isusu tozofungwa tisi vana.
But
atisi kupovu.
We
My leads are
you want the masters. Uchafuta fees masters.
Imagine.
Atupova mana.
Leadership. Wakapedzera rini kunobhadhira gate taking yekona ipost.
Kama ndotobhadhira kama 5 kaya.
Vanhu vazhinji vanoonera mbao.
Nova big supporter.
Because ari kutarisa kuti right andina mari yekombi. But anyway, what I was saying was, so I faced the realities. I faced one of my Zambians at that time. Maybe from a different perspective because of course you unongori main NGO sector. Unokwanisa kuita consultancies, unokwanisa kumboita kana workshop inokupa per diem. You see and cushion yourself. Plus utori employed. Kuna vamwe vanenge asina mari. You see? So I felt those policies. But during that time, Lusaka Stock Exchange, Mdara was booming, especially Nenonzi Copper Belt Energy Enterprise. Because no pakatanga netsafuti magetsi solar. You see? Then vanazvibvunza but what about the poor? Ndakatonyora article yekuti energy appetite in Zambia. Kuti fine vari kuencourage vanhu solar, aisa duty free solar, but vanhu vangada vanoafoda kuimporta solar. So this is only the middle class.
So nyika nepovu zvinhu zvakatodai because right now mukomana ane reserve yemari ye 7.5 billion handiti if I'm not sure mareserves euyu mareserves ndo because mukangoenda mutserendende ndo panoita devaluing yecurrency but ane mareserves atoriko atobheka currency for the first time kuti atore nemabillions arikutobheka uyu yake
but asakadzikisa price yeupfu kuzambia kune common talk inonzi ungawadhura
guys I don't know wangu dangotaura wangu problem yedu guys let's be honest say Zimbabwe nasi and I want Panashi to fucking second this point.
Why do you want to second your point? Your point is that Abuda Pachena.
What you say, Ungawadura. You understand? Ukona munomu. Where Zimbabwe guys, let's be careful. Right now,
no.
Prices are going up and we are not noticing it. Why? Because of these fucking illegitimate tax shops.
Tax shops
ndara ndo namturufunga.
Izvezvi ngatitaure zvekuenda kunotenga masini iyo inga yadhura iyi.
$10.
I need it. But I just go to town. But let's be Zimbabweans
and the problem is we focus on all the time.
But we are failing.
We learn lessons from them.
But there are certain things, but we are not experts. The problem we become experts. We become experts on other countries. Passport yangu andira izvo
ndogona kuverenga 100 stamps. The reason why we focus on other people is because we spent a lot of time mumisha yevamwe nokuda kwakutiza nhamo medu mumusha. Inini mudhara ndakakura. I will tell you this. I started spending more time with my father. The most time with my father. Time yandikapedza O level. Because that time, you know, that break. Ndakakwira bhazi nganachi Jose. Mdaranga has been in the diaspora for almost 27 years. Mom's yangu has also been in the diaspora for close to 25 years. You see, vakatozopesera vaenda ku UK as a health worker. You understand? And chicha kavaendesa ikoko. This crumbling economy. Ndara isu tiswa pano yekuti pa visiting vamwe vachivisitira muse Saturday ndaimirira next week Saturday because dead vanenge vasoti cross a border. Kana kuti zvinhu zvatumirwa na gogoga pamwe zvakazosvika muse Sunday. Saka Monday gogo akwanise kuuya because gogo vanenge vaenda kumunda bozoya pa weekend and gogo vanenge vachigara kana bamnini vanenge vachiswera zvavo vaenda kuma hustles. Apa bamnini watotsva go graft.
And urutaura the issue yatogara takataura pana about family displacement nenyaya yekungwabva utori munhu atori nomusoro dai izvozvo wakazara mapini nemanhingirikenzi kana uine vana because padeni penyu ndo papari pabhesi vanoshandisirwa nanauyu nasikoko because pane vanhu vanenge vasipo vabereki vanenge vasipo and those things ndo zvazara kune munhu wese now. Those things, my youth now, atiri kukura my youth angori ega asina pasina munhu arungudzora kuti but ngati participation ngatidai so itangoita mubvonyongera and we end up takushandiswa nevakangwara zveshiri dzakangwara.
I remember ndiri grade 7 08 ndara ndakasirwa 200,000 ichitenga patime iyoyo I think ekwanisa kutenga zvinhu zvinokwana pa $10. Within 3 weeks ndakazonzi 200,000 haisiri worth kana yangu yakutenga lollipop. I cried mndara because yanga pocket money ndaifanira kulasta nayo month iri kuna boarding mazokanzi but mari yako haichatengeka ndotokupa ma lollipop. I cried mndara ndichisa kwadi lafuko. I cried ndikanombofonerwa dad wako ari kupi but South Africa South Africa unodhura kufona Harare gogo hawana foni ndotofona pa landline next door mndara wangu ndopakazengera kwegazanga kanokia 1208 ndakatozoka inheritance nda form 1 but it was a painful experience andwana then pamapari ndakasirwa 1 billion futhi iri equivalent $10 before we knew it again yanga yarowa value.
So Zimbabwean participation recently taken Cape 3 and act.
That was amendment.
That was Mtemo all the Tonga. Do you think what's your reflection my youth actually almost space does this encourage participation also even voting so because my youth were more excited to vote for the president when excited votera chamisa votera ED votera and Elizabeth saka now atisha votera president now say what's your assessment in the participation in my youth baba now
ipapo uvota ungoisa nepatriotic act cyber all the cyber laws.
I'll tell you this. Cape 3, in fact, amendment number 3 taught us something that Zimbabweans were not looking at. A president is not the government. That's number 1. You can vote for a person and like personality politics. Zagu expose how they are very weak, right? Especially in opposition now. Then number 2, the importance of grassroots organization, and that's
structures. I mean, our is now side.
Kuti my youth ipapo ndo pava instrumental because ndo vanhu vane energy. Vanokwanisa kumobilize ma structures. And ndo vanhu vekuti they are still brave enough with nothing to lose to put their lives on the line. But avafanira kushandiswa. Young people should not work without reward. Ndosaka uchiona a lot of young people mu civil society avachadi kuuya personal transport reinvestment because ari kuja kutarisa I'm giving my talent and time.
We were fucked with this organization.
But the logic yema transport reinvestments came from a good point. Even ZANU-PF does it. I keep on using ZANU-PF because I am trying to, because ZANU-PF in our garage accuse a civil society of paying one to participate. Even they do it. I remember there's this other time I sat with a colonel. I sat with the colonel where ZANU-PF. I respect that old man. I was Colonel Magumi, so took Midlands. So I did you fan with ZINASU. Dagunets I ne Maria Americans and that I'm sure that US dollar in and one because my days on the RTGS. Them so US dollar and tumbo zemo when man goes into one civil servant. And no one a pocket money per pension ya go. You see? You go Minister of Education of next social welfare $50.
I'm about 20.
What wise to can also because no change $25. But what he said that even munotara tino badra vanhu kungana kwa mimi zvamuri kuita zvikanzinzonzwe mwanangu azvina hunhu kuti wamisa munhu basa wamubvisa mumusha make kumunda kwake kana kupi wamugarisa pazuva 3 hours womudzosera kumba kwake ane nzara asina mari yekombi usina kucompensate day raaluza from making livelihood yake so ma $5 atiri kupa vabereka nechikafu chatavapa ipapo kwangu kwane logic yemachikenini vaiurayirwa mombe nechikafu chatavapa ichi because tiri kunzwisisa kuti vanhu ava they have sacrificed their socio-economic life to come and spend their time with us for our ambitions, for our interest, because ZANU iri kuitira izvi kuti mangwana irambe iri government kuti nini mangwana mwanangu ndirambe nini ndichifamba nayo twin cab rapa ndo vanhu so it's the least we can do. And that's where the logic of my reinvestments comes from. They can say what they may with the factors up. They didn't. The logic came from a good place.
So no. That's not a good place.
No, it is a good place.
No, socialism. Hakuna free participation yoitika kana vanhu vasina kubhadhara musazonetsa mayouth akuti pane chiyo kuti aiwa tiri kuitira kuti tidai
wakaenda macommunities sotomenda around chinoita masozi mumaruzeva vanhu vajera kupiwa something saka ukavati amatoita story
okay there are some people vekuti vakuda vatakuti tavaiti macashivis kana kuti workshop renewers iyo yagreed right we have to address it for what it is itoripo greed there are certain people wekuti ndatovaziva kuti ukamufonera vatokuza kuti mira ndozodaira ndiri muworkshop but iwe unogara uri muworkshop hindra wiki rese unowana time yekumboti iwo unoona bhebhi rako rini right
Baby ruda cheuviri.
But also not
Ruda mari, ruda 5, ruda 10.
But also not that munhu iye ari kuenda kuworkshop handita kunowana that reimbursement because pamwe ari toda kutotengawo data.
Yeah.
Pamwe atochona. But zvinozoya negrid. I'm not justifying. So that's something we have to address. However, but ndikutaura ini nchiti it will not be fair kuti takubvisa ipana pamukoma DRC mimi. Kuti muye kuzondinzwa nchiwawata for 3 hours.
So pano muchatobva musina something baba. Sorry hako.
Anditika munhu obva but oenda futi mamudzosera but matora productive time yake. Then number 2 amusi kuziva kuti auya nei. We can't always assume kuti munhu esani mari yechi transport. You get it. Zvafanira kuti kubva kuchitungisa izvo handichaziva kuti ndane time sinombenda unoona.
Don't worry. Amene kuchitungisa imari.
It's out of Harare. But anyway, kukwira kombi.
Tiri kunzwa but kuchitungisa normal on a normal time inenge iri $50 kombi. Kana iri pika wa makombi mrenga ngachitoita $2.
And that's typical of makombi kuchitungisa.
Kuchitungisa unoziya.
So ndati saka chifunga unenge wabvisa mfana kwete kuzengeza wambisa kuzvido
kwesoko
kana wambisa kudema womusvitsa muHarare ozokwira kombi uya kuBraeside handiti wobva wamusvitsa kuBraeside wobva wamudzosera futi akadaro
asina chunu asina kudya.
We are being inhumane.
Yeah.
Ndo yacho tichiexploita vanhu but at least izvi ndozvoti tamupa capacity kuti kana ambokwereta mari anowa nekudzosera nekudzokera kumba then tobva tamupawo lunch because tozoti aswera pano ngaadya handiti then kana pasara change iyoyo mangwana achashandisa kuzoya kunext engagement achamudedza kana achashandisa kutenga data raachatoposta futi paLinkedIn kutaura tanga inesu. So it's ndotara nchiti the idea yemari investments came from a good place. Variko kuti vakuti the dynamics about especially kana achida kunyora ma reports ma M&E factors ekuti but is this genuine attendance ona ndoona kuti pakati kwa workshop ine $5 up. For example, a lot of young people would prefer kuenda ku workshop inoitirwa kuinyanga for 7 days ine per diem ne transport reimbursement andira than kuya pana be $5 odzokera kumba.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, those are everything chino ine ma pros and cons. Kuna chinjira 100%.
Tazodivata for my cyber laws.
My cyber laws already. Yeah, yekuti cap 300. So ndo pa taisha nye genuine participation. So apa patakuya pa issue yekuti this is where it is to awaken any progressive to go back to the grassroots. Power iri kumasero, power iri kumadistrict, power iri muprovince. Handiti ndokwata kufanira kudzokera but also it is to awaken us to coalition politics than fragmentation. And within that means kuti takufanira kuti genuinely center the majority which are the young people. Ndopawafanira kuya there are opportunities for young people to continue participating. I don't think it really changes much on that end. But the problem is Cap 3 is entrenching yatinoti class dictatorship. Taakutongwa nezvigananda. Ene zvitagwira atoenda musenate. Don't be surprised akaita minister. The chief financier of the same party.
Opposition for
vice president.
For reshuffle, by the reshuffle, baba.
I'm expecting it.
I'm expecting reshuffle.
Party yaanofanda yamisa mji. So the idea is, are we going to have a winning chance as young people against big money? So it's now a fight against what? Big money.
And you cannot fight man with the ideas only.
Exactly.
Lip service.
Azvite. Unenge wamuvhotera ropa makuvire wewe. Fanzi. Bamnini.
Mangwana tisi kuvhotera president kamuziya.
Bamnini.
Chikubatene apa.
Hazvisi kuchinja.
Kwenyuka zvichinje neiko.
Achinje chiro kaizvo. Uchitongori muparliament. Zvavone. Because vese makaranga chiredzi.
Besides also relationship emnominayo yasiyana nekuti my enemies what because every day murutaura muri kudya mese muri kumwa mvura mese and we are now
you
friends.
Bring up a very important point. There's something I always tell people political differences don't make us enemies.
Yeah, true.
Inini nditori my friends anga ari kuzikoso atori muzanu PF. So avandikaona tuboy tafadzwa mugwara.
Yeah.
He's way older zvake. But ndikatomona kuti president tototaura nyaya.
But mazwana akutaurika naye kudhara paituzwa nano mukuru club ndinaitaura naye ndiri still remember like
vanonopeka
but izvozvi ndakaona kuti even pakatanga kupinda taiti tikasangana aitouya achiti uita seko iwo but izvozvizvi
ana pane uyu anonzani nditori nefriend yangu andakadzidza naye same class tiri kuMSU pandakaita SRC vice president mvese aitove part of my campaign team achitotukwa kuzikoso anzi mwana wa comrade Soloma Imbode anonzi Stanford Thompson pesi wangu big time zvoro ndaito ndiri pacampus mwanda broker so
so you benefited from this regime and you want
to discuss my social relations. I'm humanizing politics. I'm humanizing politics and because muna ari kuzanu PF and pane ma elites that benefit from your oppression that oppress you every day and that's true, we can be angry at them but we have to give each other grace as fellow citizens.
Yeah, true.
Some youth.
Especially some youth.
But even panapatega achizitaura nditi kuti ona even my David president angari my youth we thought maybe vakomana vachataura vese because we have got someone not we have got aina ndisiri kumada kutobva kuma youth but now vakomana my youth andanosvika pa 45 so ndichiri safe iko
go to pride nditogare akaita youth chair ne 50
saka uri kuona kuti ndaifunga kuti pane conversation iripo haisi yekuti anditourayana anditoita se tautanga kutaurana our struggles are the same. You can tell kuti zvaita asa zvaita zvako zviri kuda kuita hazvo but usati wabo
wapiwa wako kamotikari but
you can tell.
So nyaya ndo pacho pandiri kuita bring in kuti so there is that idea kuti we have to see the human face behind munhu anovhotera zano anoona kurasika hanzi pagwara remusangano remarevolutionaries zanoda kuita ravo vega sitoti asingazive ngaite se
ngafundiswe.
So that's what I think Cape 3 is bringing up straight to bear. Takufanira kuona who our real enemy is. And there is an opportunity for young people to fight, but let's understand that we are fighting against big man. And it's not just big money within the ranks of ZANU-PF. It's also big money within the ranks of the opposition. Because that big money is getting there. Sisi wangu bina ndakatoka announce kuti va senator. Ndakati baba wangu vembiziwe. You know? But vanhu vakatoka kuti hey, she was a more. That's the other thing we have to address. Asi munhu wese achata cross flow, especially among young people. Ini nditone friend yakaenda kuzanu. Zani kampatsira kuita masters and kwanza kutaura zita rake for the sake of his dignity.
Mama chimbotaura mazita
amwa
for dignity sake mama.
No, there's a difference between mimi mkoma DRC. Mukataura ndotoziya mfana anotaura life yake kuti he is dependent on the diaspora to earn a living. And it moti mfana liye mwa. And maona there's a difference between kuti tonotaura takudzwa okutoti pamwe paakatoya kuzinaso anditi akatori munhu wekutauya achiti liye mntu kuyazokuvhotera iwewe aitoya achidepend on you, like on leadership yako. There's a difference and we have to give those people the grace as well. So akatoenda mfana ekuzana atocross over pana akasvika patime yekuti angakupotsa akudifeya anditi ndobva isu tanisina capacity nawo ndahanisina capacity yekuti ndaikwanzomba $700
yaipisa
nanhasi inopisa 3/4 yekuti apedze degree ndobva angoti fuck it
nakubaya
bva anoaprocha DCC che vemugwero pana akatopiwa bag akatopedza degree bva atota masters and he works as an officer in one of the government, I think it's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And it, so what will happen is yanya yekuti vapana vakawanda tired with fighting, but also pane nyaya livelihoods. chaiwo
kuti wabva kutoitoiwa padheni wadzoka padheni warara wozosvika kuti amapoto baba gasi rapera
hapana chinhu
mabva kupi
tiri baba
tiri baba pana uza ayo kababa mabva so inini kuma youth inini maiwari ndeyekuti ndoti maiwari ikakuti ndakaona kunga munozoita selfish wakomana kana muchinge machigwinawo zvokuti imimi ndimi munofanira kunga muchiti mayouth enyama iyi kugweri kwenyu muchiti akupinzai so lidati yatati nayo wapinda watora mabawo chibaika muchikavhawo chikavhaika vafanira wenyu kuti okay ndine vangani vari kupinda vangani vari kupinda chikoro alright tinongodai so watora zve-EFF handiti EFF malema anotozikanwa neiyoyo there's someone I hate malema but malema even ana Floyd ana chichi malema ayasumudzira so macomrades anofanira kubetsera vapfana zvakanyanya kuti wapinda iwowo wauda futi 3-7 times uchingoramba ungoripo ndiwe achibetserawo.
You raise a very important conversation about creating opportunities for not just people of our generation but for others in general. Civil society yedu mapioneers vakaitanga vari young, and during that time vamwe vanoya before, especially the generation yakaenda kuuniversity muma 90s ndo mapioneers eZimbabwean civil society vakawanda vacho, ana Mudhara Kagoro, ana Mudhara Bomba. I'm not Mudhara Bomba, is actually second generation boss. Apa tora ana Mudhara Tawanda Mutasa, Professor Tawanda Mutasa, you know ndokariji vanhu vanga vari mapioneers at that time, ana Mudhara Tsunga, right? And then vakawa generation ana Mudhara Bomba, ana Mudhara Depros, Mudhara Lewanika, you see, and vari also on their way yekuta pave way for another generation. Then pane generation not after evil, you know, ana Sisi Stabile, you know, ana Sisi Glanis, then papas hoyo yekuti nengena na Stalos ana Mako, right? You notice kuti
I'm politician.
No, I'm a politicians, but they are people of their generation or civil society, right? And then pause where you do. But you notice kuti between generation yedu ne generation iri before yana Ostalos na Mako, within this space there has been an opportunity stagnation. The cause I'm still trying to find out what it is. But there's been an opportunity stagnation.
Economy ndara.
And also iri bad zokuti apana munhu wesakapota selfish akazopesa ngoti
ndakumbotora
yangu iyi
ndovaka mansion
ndovaka bozi inini magoresa chingodai so nayo
mafanda zakati mchaita activities makuvaka mara ichauya.
And
also,
and worse off no cut kwa USA.
Besides USA, no way. My political parties acho kurgu ya my youth iko goroda zoti. Why are you funding one huko kuti vanoita lifestyle our taxpayers money. But you know nyengana huko munopenga imimi.
Yeah, that's
saka they are changing also iko goko. Zvekuti now we need kuti even wakomana watataura vesa kuti ana Mudhara Kagoro chichicho vanofanira kucreata even funding yeAfrica iyo funding yeAfrica yawo yedu bozi isusu hatikwanise kungatirely
I think that's why we need to go now. Not just within the civil society but generally we now need to do Pan-African business development. Kuti
Pan-African
bozi ndokaranishara njiti. But
that's the future, that idea out.
But hakuna achishande chache. Chatocreatwa kuti David achishande chache.
No, Pan-African business development can happen.
It should work.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Lemo uchena ndevu. Unochena ndevu.
It's genetic.
But kutokura ikoko itatochena baba. Hakuna chakabva kudhara chii.
Ayo, zuramba kushanda pandozo fanga.
Achishande chulamari mukati.
Because it should be there.
That thing is supposed to be.
Shakashanda, it's benefits to the ordinary.
Of course, no way. They realize that
sovereign wealth fund
sovereign wealth fund yao Norway vakaona kuti tine tana oil kunoko saka vanoti vakatengesa handiti mari yavo yakazowanda wakainvesta wakaita sei
but imwe yacho vanoisa mumaNGO
mari yacho imwe yacho vanoisa mumaNGO but iyo unongoona mari irimo uchipuwa chitupa chako panobereka mari kanenge karipo you benefit from that but isusu hatikwanisa kuita izvozvo because apeta imi mutarazve example yemutapa investment
and it's so opaque ka hatisomboziva kuti ine mari tinongoudzwa unzi yaita investments
malosi malosi sei
iri kuita sei
tikupa vanhu NRZ toipa mari echinzi unoipiwa chitima chacho chiri kupi chechikuitika
iri wrong
wacina linokugata isitimela weyebula
che angisoze ngigata isitimela ngekubulawayo beyanhlanye phela
minugogwa mani wazala umama sewanke
right
ecina ukugata isitimela ngewanke mdala 2003
ichizomoshana but
grade 4 2003
but ukona manzi wazotaura fuck I've forgotten that fona ngirube wazozvanga wakutaura zvechi mbuyanianda chawocho yeah, and then like, so now I think we need to introduce, some private sector.
I found that. Pakabuda article rakanyorwa na Dr. Mzondijika, one of the scholars I respect in Zimbabwean academia. Ravakati, the politics of invisibility and visibility. You see, this is I'm happy you brought it up.
Yeah.
Kukariba kunogara matonga nemanambia people. That belt ride ndoshibata matnot. The Zambezi peninsula inobata matonga nemanambia. Those people are ethnic minorities.
Yep.
And it still brings the logic. Hey, how this government, our government, and the state treats my ethnic minorities. And besides my minorities, just ordinary people. Because when I depend on a ferry, when I got in rural Kariba, because of my roads are bad. So my bus are so I chance water transport to get home.
And it's about $8 but ne bazi
siyavonga
kuna bata siyavonga.
Uchembira uri muroad.
You see? And siyavonga, the funny thing, siyavonga also encroaches into Chirundu on the Zambian side. And
documentary yatakaita Zambezi kuti kutori nabamuni naruko sezvo zvamboita Limpopo kuti
and besides there are tourist resorts around that. There's actually a commercial ferry yematourists inoshandisa that route.
And vakatowana
and that ferry is it in the same condition as that ferry yakata capsize?
No. You know that when that ferry was like 5 hours, it was like, you guys are now joking. It can't be 5 hours. Or what. And I'm like, for sure, it's 5 hours. Like, really?
That thing, just imagine my youth are kuna Kariba.
So the opportunities for young people to participate in fact, not the opportunities, I don't want to call them, the need for young people to participate in the era Constitutional Amendment number 3 is there. Because amdara indakadza nematonga akawanda kuMSU androwana, and I've worked nematonga akawanda in Zambia and in various civil society spaces.
Yeah.
In nemamachanga nekuchilonga vanga vakudisplaced in 2021 nenye dendere
vakazouya vanhu vese vakazofollowa tisu takanosumudza chimurenga
vachi vakudisplaced paikuti vakutanzi to make way for a lasting grass farm yemombe but people are losing so pane munhu akanditi what's so special about land that you have to understand land in our history kana chitara toda kudzosera munda atitara minda yekuti tidyare chibage. No, on land is where we buried our ancestors, where we worshipped our gods, where we built our homes and grew our food. That's our identity, it's history. You see? So yes, so there is, and then more around the bisepa pot mise uswa. We mombe dzemupfumi
mkaka wacho ndodhura
apa mkaka wacho ndo afford
but ine mkaka na masande balenda mkaka no kama ndega but
guys even I want to talk about
let's go back to I think to Kariba ningiriki.
Yeah, you know guys, when it comes to my youth akatangoza, I've always said guys, this thing my activists, especially my youth, centralizing your activism in Harare, Gobulawayo, Kweru,
Thank you.
Two.
Master.
It's two.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes.
problem.
The conversation that,
Yeah.
of course, the conversation that if you go post your obit Masarari on Facebook, you see, I think it was 2 days after. Anyora kati Harare will never develop Zimbabwe. So we also have to address. So this is why I want to tell people. It's not one my intellectuals. I'm not very bookish, but what is very true to society. A unitary state is very counterproductive to the interests of the citizen.
It's Jamuta is logic. It's logic because this is even about that my chief. Remember we akataura na Anzani. I hate to quote but akataura Anzani president huyu
Chief
Charumbira. Ajita omana mnoya afana tuchuya but devolution takagara tinayo isusu kudara tati nayo kuti isusu andikwa sabhuku ndozati kuna sabhuku kuna chi kudzika pasi ndi anozotouya.
The difference between decentralization and devolution. Plus yo anacharumbira ma beneficiaries. Okay, I contest my chiefs akawande muno Zimbabwe legitimacy yao because vamwe vacho they
wakaiswa neuye
Smith pane Facebook post. You remember that guy angari kusend Ignatius panguva yehondo achitaura kuti I'm willing to die. That clip is incomplete. It's an extract from a full interview. And it was about chiefs. Chiefs were given something to say by Smith because Smith is the one who gave them that power.
But the guys, they are being used. These guys, like they are being used right now. Right now, the way Smith Ayengo Shaniswa right now to convey messages out. And remember, you want to watch Shikirwaka. Oh, Visco when you are also rightful. Over Apo, you won't do Ndio Marangi. What a Marangi? Pano Kananinda we as a president. Uchatara je.
So nobody want to conversation when I'm dear said my chiefs are products of feudal relations of production in our history. Yeah, but I don't know the stages of human development, feudalism. Everything was tied to ownership of property. Very my landlords. Those are create a power out. Then when we came into the capitalist colonial era, especially in Africa, my chiefs akawanda vaka participate in liberation war. I do credit my efforts out and Chief Rekaitango and Chief Makoni and Chief Mapondera, but we have to be honest about it. They were trying to renegotiate their position in society because part of an interview one of the chiefs Ano Bunzwa during the liberation war. What I can imagine a day I will be governed by one of my subjects.
But it's like even remember propaganda no,
but it's true.
I remember there are a lot of people even Nyayonga Tengesa and whatever and could we need to give people to aenda uko ngati Muzureo Jamakamita. Muzureo was trying to negotiate baba kuti
Chief Chirao.
The chief Chirao amana gatsadai uona Muzureo was trying to negotiate right now ndo Jamakuti watengesa or tengesa what you know
no but no we can't we can't sanitize what Bishop Muzorewa did.
And so sanitizer but not angane democratic right yake yekuchoose chii right achisi right.
Dokupai my principles a liberation movement. We are an anti-imperialist, anti-colonialist, anti-sexist. If others we are non-racist, non-imperialist, non-capitalist and non-collaborationist movement. Vamuzore wangu ari collaboration.
But you guys say no collaborate.
Vangu ari collaboration. Of course.
The chicken guys, they want to a lot of them was they. We need to appreciate Zakaita.
Vakatengesa. But we can't use it as a thesis to justify what Bishop Muzorewa did.
But you are here. You are trying so we can use the as a thesis kuti mkomana aenda anopuwa uyi yake toti anopuwa inonzi anopuwa mari yekupedza uyi yake PhD rake
kutengesa
kuita sei ikoko.
But of course not was ndichiri that I find out if it's true. Okay fine ndiri kuavoida kusuyiwa because it's alleged because pakapiwa Susan Matsunga fortune ya G6 ndakati my daughter di machuma mukuru wachinzi vakapiwa 64 million. Anyway, it's alleged. It's alleged. And zvakapostwa najealous mawari. Aenda ipapo pa Twitter pa X page rajealous mawari. Achitaura takapiwa 64 million.
Ndikapuwa ungapuonzo. Onyarara. Vanhu ava kana vakupa hawanyarari.
But ndozo
mukomana tinaye hadyirwe musaga ndosa muri kuona vachizongobudisa kuti right koko weomirire vanhu panapa.
Wakanzwa statement ati anatsenengamo anza muri kupopota bhina pamuchaziva our biggest deployee opposition ndopamuchapera. It's always hinting to, maybe it's propaganda also, or it's conspiracy theory. Plus also ZANU-PF is a motor man. Articulate a profile as to why he deserves iswa panodziya.
I mean, it's a talk engagable for a long time. I think even student movement. How does that affect participation? Even for your apathy, because I mean, your effort, genuine look fighter,
especially my youth.
So, and people like adding on that. How do you separate Vele? You know what? No. Student activism, when you're fighting for the students and the youths, how do you differentiate between the political parties and just saying good to the youths? Okay. Are we standing for our rights or not?
Okay, so I'll address the first question. How does it impact people? It's to know the reasons why Murkutambura, and it's the dictatorship, yes, right? Then also Natunga Matutu. But the opposition lacks capacity to fight and remove ZANU-PF. So I'm joining ZANU-PF. It spends time bikering and fighting itself. The Zimbabwean opposition has been too inward looking and spent a lot of time trying to fight itself and trying to prove legitimacy over each other. That's a very honest fact, and that is on the class of 1999.
That's the problem.
Vaka spend that time vachirwisana, right?
The true fighter.
And vachiri kufighta.
Ende tunyaya tunozoita mayouth. Inyaya yekutorana girlfriend. Inyaya yekutorana chekuti wakazondisura. Let's go ipapo.
Isn't it your ideology now in 99? Doesn't it differ? Because remember, these 99 guys.
My 99 guys are
you unionist, yeah?
Yeah. No. Wait. What is my 99 guys, Machi? Most of them, okay, fine. I'll tell you. Most of the class of 99 are now they are part of the petty bourgeois and liberal bourgeoisie.
Wow.
Wapana wekuti part time you are very ready to say 21, 25. They were already working for law firms as either associates or partners or junior partners, right? Those are the people. Vamurkuti ma trade union isimi wana Isaac Matongo, Gibson Sibanda, Morgan Changra. They don't fall in the class of 99. That is the class of the 80s. Yet not if they the resistance and renaissance class. Yet not the awakening class. No vakazotaka kuona but nyika yakutobaizwa. Of course vane ma flaws avo. Ekuti vanga vasingadiwo kusiya chino. Ndaramo Gidza tried to consolidate MDC around himself. Kuzoona kuti party inonzi MDCT. Because iwewe hauna kuagria ne-leadership yeparty yako over one decision. Mafunga to part ways. And vakato part ways vacho ngari petty. But anyway, it shows that there was poor dispute resolution mechanisms within the opposition during that time of history.
I think as Zimbabweans, even ZANU-PF, we start from Tekere,
the overkill mentality.
You know,
zero sum.
Healthy disputes, what? Healthy
factions, I don't know. All right, I'm a factionalist. I'm known. Even in politics, I'm a factionalist. But factions should be built on ideas. inchero ndiri kuzinasa ndaitova nefaction but faction redu isusu raibhelieve on an idea yekuti sezvo zvotoita kuti amaradicals pains patenda kucongress yakaita kuti yakazoelectwa taku kuti aite president payanzi mavikings and gentlemen mavikings vanga vari maradicals magentlemen ndo akuti vachicho chonga vari masalad but it was built on ideas on the approach to fight for students. Factions would be ANC has made factions normal.
And factions, I don't think so.
Factions can be
that is why they are in there.
Because people.
I don't think so.
But
factions are political party healthy.
The faction could dominate.
I'm not going to that. Ati anzi ANC
they normalized.
They normalized. But tikatara ukaona even documentary ra mama Rawini rere. Notara kuti factionalism ona yakato destroy ANC kudara.
problem but
comrades
Koko Winnie Mandela, I don't call him Mama Winnie because I'm too young to be a son of Winnie Mandela. Koko Winnie Mandela was saying things from a point of a perspective. To understand that.
Yep.
Yes, because if I my emotional experiences, I ANC.
Corrupt views.
No, I can't call them corrupt. You know when you give an account of what you went through, we can't call them corrupt. But anyway, but my differences are we will never be homogeneous. We'll never agree on the same thing every time. But anyway, the class of 99, zero sum, and the class of 99 they were not trade unions. They don't necessarily resonate with the working class. They were part of the petty bourgeois. But middle class spaces, professionally and socially. Vakatanga kushanda, vamwe vacho vakati kwanza kutenga dzimba at 25, 26, 27.
Youth waitu kapedza unotorwa watozvitaura iwe tichitanga pana kuti baba vangu vaingotorwa unzi aingoenda pa notice board. Saka uchipedza uchikoro nyika inge itoripo.
You get it.
So those people we can't say kuti suppose nyika ndo zvayaitoda kuti waigona kutorwa ne Hippo Valley wotoenda utonoshanda and wotozvitengera mota kuinvest kwacho vaipiwa mari. You see,
these are roads
kanga kuti conversation yange yatangira papisha.
It's obvious a couple.
Aya couple msaibvise. Anyway, no. Like we digressed a lot.
Yeah.
No conversation anyway.
But papa nyanga tupate number 2 kuti the questions the first question. The questions after nye Kariba.
No, but still, all right. Yeah, on the issue of Kariba, I was saying, Guti, that thing of my youth activism, Yamurugita, too centralized in Harare.
Harare will not develop the country. Kuti problem in it can kuti Mugabe vakasiya vatiudza the wrong image about what unit was. This will agitate a lot of people that are NDA Mugabe. But Mugabe taught us that unity meant, homogeneous cohesion. To conform to one center, one idea, one program. That's not true. We have to devolve the country. A unitary state for a country as small as Zimbabwe does not work. Because izvezvi and nakupa example, everything is centered on Harare. Parliament iri kupi kuHarare, cabinet and president vari kupi
kuHarare,
vanosvika kuChilonga izvezvi vaenda kuweekend vanosvika here kuChilonga no handiti. But tikadevolva nyika tikasa devolution nyaya yanga yatangira pakuti Charumbira aita devolution yanga iri kuno aita decentralization anopenga
samukuona mukuzvona kuti hapana nyika yamunoshuwira sema Marxist and zvinofanira kubatana. Hakuna chinoti red white. There's a time There's a time a Marxist panozopedza aenda socialist, but there's a time, you know. So there's no.
I think you need to understand Marxism a bit more closer. It's a good thing I'm here. But anyway, devolution and it. I know there is another ndimambo zvavo ndovaremekedza but kana ndichiti anopenga I'm saying his ideas they are frivolous because you can't say devolution angero there was decentralization anditika kana tira devolution is tutaura chiti imi mukoma DRC tomboti ndimi mayor munoona I think Mdara Macheka was one of the last executive mayors
Namuzura I think
Mzura na Macheka is same time.
I think so.
Okay, yeah. They are the last executive mayors, and mayor got any power and autonomy. There's quasi-autonomy of the local government, and then there is also a provincial government or a regional government that makes decisions and budgets on behalf of the region, the town, the city, and then there is even yet not my ward budgets, but budget. What they actually decide to divide chine budget rao. That's devolution. Kuisa simba kuchi bringing the government closer to the people. What that helps is in in regions that are inhabited by minorities. Minorities are able to direct
their affairs
and address
as
raw affect without us intruding or diluting. That in a devolution, I don't think we could have things like Mtwaras. I vehemently disagree with Mtwaras. Secessionism should be crushed.
Crushed? That's a strong word, Baba.
No, I'm unapologetic and I stand by my way. I stand by my way.
Crush our king, yeah.
No, that's not the conversation, man. I don't think Mtwaras seeks to benefit. Okay, if Mtwaras really stood for the indigenous heritage of the Nguni people living south of Zimbabwe, it could have said, we want a kingdom under King Bulelani Lopengula.
But we have.
But that's not what Mkondisi Dube wants.
That's a political.
No. I have to speak about this. I don't think secessionism addresses issues of
just to correct, just a little bit, just to correct my comrades here. There are two Mtwakazi ideologies here. There's Mtwakazi political party.
Yes.
And Mtwakazi being Mtwakazi as the Nguni people.
Yeah,
you see.
Yes.
So, which has nothing to do with the political party.
That's why,
has nothing to do with
which is why
with
I said secessionism. Yeah. Which is why I said, because the group that wants secessionism is the MRP.
Yeah. You see. Which has nothing to do with
with the heritage of the people living south of Zimbabwe. Which is why I said kuti dai vanga vari vanhu vari credible. Dai vari kutaura nyaya kuti isusu tiri kuda establish a kingdom under King Bulelani Lopengula, and then we start to address nyaya kuti madzimambo, like the restoring heritage of Zimbabwe and what completes Zimbabwe's history. That's fine. But the MRP, I don't think it's a party that should be allowed to exist in Zimbabwe.
No, that's the reason why they have the right.
Secessionist movements. No,
they have the right.
You have the right. Listen, what I'm trying to tell you.
We might differ.
Okay, fine. We
might differ.
Secessionist movements. In a world where we are talking about uniting Africa and they speak of fragmenting African polities, I don't think they should be entertained. And I'll tell you this, do you know consultant Wem Mtwakazi? So this is what I'm now bringing into. Do you know Mfesanon's Arthur Grant Gochin? Arthur Grant Gochin, akanyora article iri mu Israeli Times.
I want to
chief factionalism. We can Google it. You can Google it, Sandita. Atori, he was a special envoy AU. And dear no advice Mtwakazi. That guy is also Israeli sponsored. Akanyora article on Africa must fragment South Africa first. And you know what is the chief consultant where a lot of xenophobic movements. And what are xenophobic? Look at March and March. It is built on what? Tribalism, Bantustan politics, which are supposed to separate South African ethnicities. And who are beneficiaries of that consultancy as well. So that no, South Africa is too diverse. That's the logic. On MRP, and he's their consultant. Akatwabadzira is a petition to the AU. By the way. So there is a bigger struggle.
You know what? No.
Chine papa consultant kuti consult amuzo.
No, it's there on the internet. Ndara. I will die on that.
No, but
there
you
on the
see,
internet.
the stronghold of youth activism. That's where now you have to sort of educate whoever that you are supposed to educate. Not saying people shouldn't align to political parties that they wish to,
but they need to
align
know
to.
which party is good and bad for them in the course of his.
No.
No.
I'm not prescribing them.
But
you're saying
here. All right, let's look at this. And a party that's good for you is a party that advocates for social justice.
ZANU-PF does the same thing,
but they don't.
But ZANU-PF they do advocate for that, don't they?
No, ZANU-PF. We intend to create a.
But Mtsanga is not ZANU-PF.
He's the spokesperson of ZANU-PF.
But they'll
so what
clearly tell you that it's not ZANU-PF.
You're kind of family spokesperson when you squawk. Akataura something. Do you think you need to separate her from that? We intend to create a black bourgeoisie. George Charama, we are a capitalist country, and to do that we need capitalists. So I now understand social justice. They don't believe in it because rhetoric ne promise and for sure they're doing it.
Liam, I don't want to direct this whole democracy thing to Zambia, where you've lived for long, but where you're now a Zambian, where you're now a Banda. But I am saying, I'm not saying ZANU-PF is right or correct or whatever their ideologies are, and then it's fine. It's a political party. It is its own programming ideologies and stuff, and they have their youths for that. The same way you guys remember. You are fighting a youth versus another youth.
True.
So how are you bringing up ideologies
to unite
fighting another youth?
So anyway, this is the conversation that comes. When we say youth participation and youth leadership, because Zambia if youth for parliament. It's a youth-led social movement, youth-focused. It campaigns for young people to lead. I always had back and forth with them. Zambia. So now, all right, comrades, I understand how genuine your cause is. We are the majority, we are underrepresented, we are part of the most excluded. But what do you make of young people that seek to lead the country through the ranks of the dictatorship? Because right is also true campaign for all youth regardless. Campaign mama youth and you understand? Yeah, exactly. They campaign for everyone. Right? They would mobilize resources for everyone. Uri young person, primary election, youth for parliament, they'll show up, and that's the youth for parliament won most primary elections for a lot of young people. They helped a lot of young people win primary elections. They even held meetings, they secretary generals, they party. But the conversation in as a matter of principle, this was after 2021 elections. But let's look at young people that decided to lead this country and advance the youth agenda through the ranks of dictatorship.
No,
because dictatorship is part of the reasons why the youth are excluded. You get it.
Principles, I compromise.
So it's not just about being a young person. It's not enough to be just young. It's not enough to just agree that young people, it's their time. But someone wants to be a young dictator. Someone wants to be a young revolutionary. There's a difference. Which is why it comes to the convention. Yes, secessionism. I don't believe there is any emancipation in secessionism. Especially when we're talking about the goal to unite Africa. You get it? It's because we can also unite young African people. Fragment. You get it? Which is why it's a perversion of the idea advocacy. King Lobengula, Agadzwi. You get it?
Yeah.
It's a perversion of that. Because King Lobengula, I'm yet to understand whether he's a legitimate descendant of Munumtapa or not. But for King Bulelani, it's established. And it's established. There is a traceable heritage line. So in Rutan Gaita say, Gagadzwe, tufana tono izadza Baba Fields there. Ogadzwa. Kana Munumtapa ari legitimate and totenda either Murufaro kana Gurudaka kana Kusakubva. Ogadzwa. totsvagawo futi kuti descendant wanzani angariro zviking sangamire dombo because ndo mainhabitants akawanikwa nanyamazana pabulawa region kana aripo ogadzwa futi chiita toti madzimambo agadzwa our heritage is now what our history is coming up complete fine but kuti toti isusu kuti agadzwe tofanira kutanga tabreak out from Zimbabwe that doesn't address the question. But anyway, Harare will not develop the country. Ngativapei vanhu vavo space to govern their own affairs, make decisions. And then they has to find a way to set a national agenda that it aligns to.
Uriko uchita zvakuita zvako but you know kana wine diamond this is menyu
tikuziva kuti it's not just for vanhu venyu vanhu venyu vachabenefita and vachaadresa zviri necessary kwavari but the revenue there's a proportion ofanira kuenda kunyika kuitira kuti nherera nechembere nevane urema vari kune mamaregions vanobenefitawo from that diamond because vatoriwo macitizens iyoyo nzvimbo iri muprovince iri munyika medu simple as that. So Harare so devolution is important.
It is. It is. That is why I think in constitution is now align with
speaking of which, do you know kuti ma provincial councils have not set but panaona kutopiwa ma
allowances
vakatoiswa ma provincial councils because hapana devolution act that operationalize
so maringorowa
ingorowa
so urikona I think it's another story for another day you tofanira kutozodzika chaizvo yedu but makamboona TikTok zvairi kuita izvizvi nemadzimai
confession to make. I'm 3 months old on TikTok. Ndakazodzidziswa kushandisa TikTok namadam yangu ndakarora muGen Z and I'm proud of that. Okay. I made the Gen Z. Akandzidza how to use TikTok. Yes, so there's not much I can actually testify about.
Even on social, don't know what is social media or social media platforms. Twitter.
Twitter paside.
Twitter, Reddit. With me? No. Ne LinkedIn. I was just checking my bus. No. Can't lecture.
Anytime, tingati handikakwanisa kuti ma young people vanozopesera vakumomotera even vakadzi vechidiki votanga kushaudwa on social media and vati tingaita sei kuti because I feel like a phony yabvisa face and anyone can say hlamba but patosangana without consequences but patosangana we can say comrade David uchingovhapa about musunu wako chichi waona toita sei because pakauya malozi inoita kuti malozi yo ari kuti dzvanyirira and what but we have seen kuti vanhu vari kubhasha vanhu sei vane innocent vamwe vari kuzviuraya vamwe vari kudzopesera vazowina
but pane chinhu chinonzi Bill of Rights then there's the Universal Declaration of Rights it stipulates what it is that affords dignity and what it is that violates dignity of a human being across jurisdictions. That's number one. And then
but those laws by social media it was not that.
It's true. It's true.
So
pane pandoda kusvika mukomadera
alright
ipa mutori right kuti pazvikaitwa zvise zvanditi Woodrow Wilson Harry Truman pakasati kwane social media and they are not even alive today and but the development of today borrows from what they created. So what am I saying? The Bill of Rights and the Universal Declaration of Rights is a ratification of the Bill of Rights is the ratification of the Universal Declaration of Rights. Is an important statute because it spells out rights. Rights are things that afford people freedom and dignity, and it even explains what violates that. So it even comes to cyber crimes, and cyber bullying, verbal abuse, harassment, and it criminal law codifications. Nema laws, ma statutes, protect the citizen. Those things now, the problem is that the era we are in is that digital technology is developing outside the state. It's operating like a state within a state.
Yeah.
mauya kwandirika. I'm now happy.
You don't take feudalism. It's acting as if
ndikuda chaiko.
Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel are lawmakers on their own. Because my community standards at Facebook, it's not necessarily good. They are really in line with my constitutions and
Yeah.
because as you can't really talk about Israel, not a shadow ban. Because they make sure that your algorithm it does not really show up on people's FYPs.
Why?
Because either they are pro-Israel and you are affecting their material interests.
Because social media was created by the military, USA, and they give it to our choose.
So the best way to do it, there is a long term. There's what I call a maximum program. Maximum program is for countries to seize control, to take control of social media, and discipline it to the constitutions of the country. The minimum program is human beings need to be vigilant. People need to be vigilant. And people need to be retaught humanity. You know, we have grown so shameless and heartless because of the cover, a profile picture. But look at the next door. You know, that's something we need to teach our children. But unofana kugara in environment unofana kuzoti ndikazviitirwa ondofara
ndodi ukazviitirwa unoti chi skoko.
Exactly. Ndozvatinofanira kungoita chete. So when it comes to
how, that's the question.
Ndopakuya nyaya manje kuti my cyber security laws or the Cyber Act and the Cyber Crimes Act izvo zviri draftwa, so authoritarians find loopholes within popular struggles. Vanobva wana way kuisa repression, but ndiri kuti Cyber Crimes Acts across the region were not a bad idea. You get it? A bad idea, not zvave izvezvi. But kuti tofanira kuregulate social media use and conduct to protect people from harm. That's a safeguarding principle.
But how can we regulate chisiri chedu?
Yeah,
you know, chedu chine vanhu vadori chiripo vanokwanisa kuti okay ndikuona kuti rekani mbawafidha mumagaro, rekani mbawafidha chakati okay
she does whatever they want.
You brought a good conversation. Mama, not China and some Middle East countries. Okay, I only know of the UAE. WhatsApp. WhatsApp. Haibvumidzwi. Vanotoshandisa VPN.
Yeah.
Right? China vane WeChat. And China, in place of threads, they create Reddit. They have their own substitute for Instagram. They create alternative platforms in order to create platforms that do not allow the corruption of their society. Yeah, it's authoritarian, but I'll tell you it's revolutionary because no.
Ngomana azochinja kuma beliefs ake ese otiza ese baba ozo anombodeclare kuti ini ndiri kumirira apa ozopesira ati leadership.
I have a way to reconcile these two things.
Okay.
Especially in pursuit of freedom. Tataura at Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg anobva. Majority of my legacy social media platforms akabva military ya America. So isu seZimbabwe tikataka create edu in order to free ourselves from the military intelligence of the USA. Tabaiza here.
Atina kubaiza but tadzoka futi kuti takagara matunduru naskoko agara already akatigara matunduru already. So tiri kubuda sei panyaya yacho iyoyi nawo. I think so
anyanya ndepekuti we ndosa ndikushandisa China as an example. Anditi kuti China vakanzwisa kuti no, okay, tanzwisisa Facebook ndeye kuAmerica. And what are we trading the most with social media? It's data. Particularly personal information. So to protect personal information, let's create platforms ekuti personal information evanhu vemunyika medu noramba
ichengeta isusu.
And vanhu avaita se
myself I don't know KG6.
Exactly. Myself I don't know KG6. Of course, right now we can't trust KG6 because of the nature of our politics. But in a progressive country, at some point sechifanira kufarira kuti ari kuchi
it's better to keep our information ku KG6
than kuti inge iri than kuti Silicon Valley. You know,
so it means that our government inofana kunga inofana create a opportunity for young people our own Silicon
my innovation hubs aya tikaisirwa aya na Amon Murwira aya isusu tanchangobva graduate ipapo anofana kushanda
avadirwa
AI strategy but also anofungidzira ininga when you going to run away from
the global the world
globalization but the
from.
issue is we have to be able to engage with globalization in defense of our interests.
Yeah, true.
Because right now we're engaging,
atina katekashama
because tine vanhu vanobhelieve kuti ivo tinofanira kunge tine a handler to succeed.
The problem is the government they do inotiregera pakawanda inotiregera to expose ingava mari ingava
so that what control
tikada kuita idea panapa we end up looking for money from US embassy from Sweden embassy from Canadian embassy but government they aise mari they can type of mari they want
to control mari Syria
but it's even reflective for civil society. So development studies but no stadama NGOs but not my NGOs government organized NGOs ndo ana USAID, China Aid, Swedish Development
Australian Aid,
Danida. Right? Ekuti anozoita operate within the multilateral sector achito finance mama NGOs in other jurisdictions. Nyaya iripo ndeyekuti government should create enough wealth that it can use to solve social problems to an extent yekuti tinoto create edu funding systems for even our own civil society. Without having to corrupt them, to muzzle them, to censor them. But chitinotibatsirei ku create a development, to advocate for development and help us reach places we can't reach. Imimi. Because I'll tell you, USA did not batsira ma civil society organizations that are within the USA. Apart, isati ya uya kwa
Africa.
And what?
Yai.
You see? So isusu trudi kuita izvozvo.
Yeah.
So ndopari kutangire nyaya chekuti atina government yedu haidi kuisa mari inozoda kuisa mari kana vakukapture wakwanisa kutaura zvinhu zvinoaligna nevanhu.
I think Africa
takanokurwa tsoka
opposition
so on another note leadership do you think there is a serious deliberate plan from a political party that now kuti vapfana vavi leadership and vanyatsova nerole chaichairo this from let's talk from 2018 svika izvezvi because pakaita change from leadership opposition yakachinja leadership ruling party yachinja leadership. Do you think kuti pane effort kana kuti vakomana varangoti ngoma ndiye yakomana chinhu chine vene vacho tisakachitanga chinhu ichi?
I don't if we're talking about political parties in Zimbabwe in their sense, especially from 2018 to today, I don't think there's a deliberate effort. I really don't think there's a deliberate effort.
But munanga vanoti unai ma deputy ministers angu my youth
vangani
isusu ndiye vakawanda vanhu.
There is also the
5% of young people in government.
There's another issue yekuti Dr. Minister of ICT. I've had interactions na Honorable Mavetera. I had interactions na Honorable Mavetera between 2019 and 2020.
Unodzingisa munhu
no, handisi kudzingisa munhu basa. Ipapo vanga vachiri ku youth caucus.
Okay. PR.
No, vanga vatori MP but vari ku youth caucus.
Oh. Isiri PR.
Vakapinda ne PR. Yanga iri PR handiti. During that time Honorable Mavetera ndo pakatanga nyaya dze Patriotic Act. Honorable Mavetera will be very vibrant on youth issues. So she said a lot of things and women's issues as well. Because vaya kuma program yekuanda ishanda pamwe. Right? But pavakaendeswa ku ICT. Handiti muna 2023 pavakaenda ku ICT ndakatonyora ndikati nini hangu I don't believe kuti Honorable Mavetera has competency in ICT discourse. ndansiri kushora vamwe vakafunga ndiri kushora munhu wechikadzi but no ndansiri kushora. I was giving an honest assessment of someone's deployment. Ndikati dai vanga vaiswa kuyouth
zvaigona kuita
because vaiti vakaseva nyaya dzeyouth ka
She's excited.
nyaya dzeyouth vaiti vakaseva no
maitoziva tiri tese zveshuwa
tese vakaseva nyaya dzewomen vaiseva vobva vaiswa kuchi youth. So there is this randomization of deployment yema-young people yekuti tinopiwa munhu yekuti expose
kuti ane mazvona especially zvaita anozani mundenda musuyaya kudaizota una chauri kutaura takakuudza
ZANU-PF variko vanhu because ZANU-PF ndori mugovernment handiti whether we think they're legitimate or not but ndovari muchi mugovernment. I don't think there are young people vatiri competent in ICT discourse and how it relates to politics. Vaigona kuita Minister of ICT. Honorable Mavetera votoiswa kuchi youth kana women's should make a better performance. But there is this thing that this older generation does of misdeploying young people.
So you deliberate.
I think it's deliberate.
Are we saying good these youths are not ready? Are they not ready?
No. They are being misdeployed. I'll tell you the most correct deployment that has happened in Zimbabwean politics is Ostalos becoming deputy spokesperson of the MDC.
I thought from how you were speaking,
I have my disappointments about.
I thought maybe you're an Ostalot graduate.
Hey. I fought against that narrative for majority of my Yuba years. I will not fight against it for my adult. I won't call it adult life, but my post-university.
Adult, Baba.
No, I was an adult then. I was 18 and above. One thing I will not run away from is I joined the Students' Union from inspiration. And they are part of the people. They were part of my capacity development journey. But I will not accept being tied to their legacy.
You're not running away from your idols.
You are running away from your idols, comrade.
No, I did not call them my idols.
You called them what?
They were people that taught me. They're not my idols.
They are just nothing. They are nothing but just lecturers.
Just not them. Exactly. Is your lecturer your idol?
That's the problem with the.
I have my idols. True. Everyone is a hero they look up to. It's just not those people.
Okay.
Damn.
Right? No, I'm not. It's just not those people. I have people I look up.
I know.
I actually think my idol is actually Ngobi's Tamalambo. Because he.
But anyway, it's I think off camera.
No. Comrade brother Ngobi's Tamalambo is my idol. Okay. I wish to be that kind of a leader who is able to give thought effortlessly. But and to be able to like Ngobi is a hatchke, he can criticize anyone.
But Liam, I don't know, but
we are running away from the conversation.
No, just one question before maybe we go back to whatever we're talking about. But I'm in line with what you are saying now about these other cadres. I'm saying already you grew up in an opposition party family.
Yeah.
Isn't it this an ideology that you grew up with, that you should just be an activist for the opposite? Up until remember, my line of thought is let's keep in mind that you've stayed in Zambia, and now Zambia, they are crying foul over the opposition party taking power. And now they are clinging.
It's no longer an opposition party, it's a ruling party.
Now the ruling, okay, now the so-called opposition, now the ruling.
The party that used to be the opposition taking part.
Now they are the ruling party. They're now clinging to power. Are we not breeding the same eggs in Zimbabwe with you guys? That are you not going to cling to power, given a chance, one day in time that you're in power?
I can't speak for all young people that wish to govern this country. But I can speak for myself.
As that tower, it's different right now. Kana uchingwa wane unyengeredze mukano mbwire mukano right now I don't want to kutaura vanhu and whatever, but we've realized that panongopinda vanhu kuita ma-MP chaiwo even ma-phone calls vanhu vachaita sei vachadaire saka it's different now.
True.
Kuti panouya there's this madhala akambotaura kuti mufana wami hausati wambovhurirwa door wechinzi mamuka sei uine chef uine newspaper ari 6 ari 4 akadai so wecharonzi zoenda kwakati indite zvimadhara zvangu futi zvendosangana nazvo zvodadzira mufana wangu life ihuchi iwewe zvako ona, but what I like about them is to engage. Hatisvike pakubudisana mapanga kuti toda kucheka mufana iwo chichi, but vanodaidza kuti uyogara apo so asati amuende asati apindura kuti anotaura kuti ausati mufana wangu ausati usikaziva kuti chii chiri kuitika reti riri papo uchingoona mari yako yakangodai iwewe usati jaje iwewe.
Saka tiri kuti chii about youth activism? Is it a scam or
no, it's not a scam. No, it's not a scam. But I can't speak.
Creator.
I can't speak. I can't speak on behalf. I can't speak for all young people that wish to govern this country. Bonzuza.
Yeah.
From the perspective of the question, that wish to govern this country, I can't speak on behalf of Ostalos. It's clear he wants to be president of Zimbabwe one day, and it's not wrong. I think it's actually right for people like him to want to govern the country. I can't speak for Takunga Dzori. I can't speak for Tafadzwa Mugwadi. I can't speak for Kudam Nangagwa, the Deputy Minister of Finance. He's also someone of our generation. Yeah. I can't also speak for Tendai Chirao. You get it?
Kuda, I think is the okay.
But one of president.
It seems like he's level-headed.
I actually think they are prepared for power. President.
I don't know about that. I want to distance myself from this statement. My opinions. At least
opinions.
Because let's skip to alleged.
But anyway, what I'm saying is, in any angle, I'm someone who could the service I want to give this country, or the service I'm asking to give this country, is not for myself, but for the country. No believe in a principle on the country first, party second, self last.
Yeah, my principles.
And I've always done that.
My principles.
I'm willing to fight with my comrades when they betray the country. I'm willing to fight my comrades when they betray the party. But I'm less willing to fight comrades when they betray me. When they betray me, I just leave them and move away from them, find new organizations.
But comrades, what are you fighting for? Because you are fighting for the country.
For the country.
Listen, wait. I am not the country.
Yeah.
But
you are fighting
everyone else in Zimbabwe, I am part of the what? The country. Uka betray liye marwan. Zvavana kufa kwachitepa kuna kumisa independence kwende.
But mamchibotara kuna betray
ndosandati ukabetray liye. Andauti ukabetray Zimbabwe, kubetray liye nekubetray Zimbabwe kwasiyana. Iwo ukandifighta kuti ndisa electwe. Anditi kana tukanditaurira kuzeta rapika nokusiya kuti ndisungwe. It's fine. Ndichaenda kuzeta rapi ndichasungwa. Ndinobuda. Chero ndikasabuda, I'm one among many. But you kaenda ukacampaign for sanctions against Zimbabwe. You kaenda ukatengesa information about Zimbabwe. You kaenda ukashanda nevanhu vanofanda dictatorship mu Zimbabwe. Watengesa chi? Because izo affected liye marwan. Zvako affected the majority of
leadership. Hold on.
Independence nakumira nekuti chitepo afu.
And independence nakumira nekuti Morris Nyata tengesa.
Nakumira nekuti mukoma wangu baba vangu Tongo.
Ainomira nekuti Bena aenda kuZANU-PF.
Ainotombomira nekuti Mugabe akapiwa mari neCapricorn Africa Society Foundation. Yakatoenda mberi.
Haisi kuti Bena aenda ngati mbotora nyayo.
Ari manzo ndara.
Asota nyaya panyaya digital itozoitaura.
No, itaurwa. Nyaya Bena payakabuda peutanga. It sounded as if Bena appointwa na president nakako apiwa position ya ZANU-PF. Mkazi ya misinformation kuti kapaya. She's representing CC Senate. So zokuthi ndiwe ZANU-PF ka.
CC ipi?
ZINASU yakamira papi.
ZINASU, okay, fine. Inini I'll tell you this. By the time I got from my CCC, I was no longer qualified to call myself a student leader because I was an undergraduate.
Oh. You see the problem. You see the
No,
problem.
wait.
Student activism.
No, there is
exclude
not a
themselves from these things.
No, there is not a problem. No, wait. ZINASU, the reason why ZINASU is an institution. And with its leadership.
Position is ZINASU doesn't change because
during our time isusu pakati because tisu tati kuchikoro patime yakata ngonzora chamisa dispute even the coupe chamisa dispute isusu takati we think that the position yama coupe is reactionary because in as much as he feels aggrieved, in as much as he feels disadvantaged, we don't think going to create a counter MDC was correct. That was our position.
Who was giving you, who was feeding you this narrative?
Nah, it's not someone feeding us this narrative. This was a very ideological decision.
ZINASU thinking.
It's not just
by
it
itself.
was a principled position. We don't believe in splinters.
Oh, okay.
Because Coupe, when she does a congress, anamqondisa idube wangwari papa congress yo vamwana vangasiri ma-members MDC, so ndo pachipatinoya that principled position that dai akaita congress navanhu vanga vari MDC that there's a reason to renegotiate. Then number two, when it was the time MDC alliance panetsana Monzora nani Chamisa tikati if Monzora was aggrieved and it himself is a former student leader, there were platforms of dialogue before acting as if you're a proxy of the regime. But also, we did acknowledge Kuti. Now, so Chamisa could have addressed the transition to his presidency in a more mature way, in a more legal way. Now, Chamisa could have lost nothing from doing an EOC in 2018. It could have cured a lot of things. That was the position. Then even when the MDC would sell out on policy.
But now the cancer.
Now the cancer is there. But also it's not a matter of where does ZINASU stand. My contradictions MMDC are not really driven by where ZINASU stands.
But Liam,
they're driven by what the elites that are running MDC do, and even Triple C today. It knows its variances. But we have seen Kuti. ZINASU at some point has chosen not to believe by itself about Triple C drama. Because I'll tell you, Kuti, when we left, Takuzo Ngadzuri became youth chair. And then Emmanuel Stima became president. Stima never really believed himself with what drives the cause of the young people is what we are seized with. The contradictions of our political elites, no particular conversation at the class of 99.
Liam.
So you can't then say Kutanz, this is the problem. I'm a student activist because they want disinvolved. Okay. Do you want me to associate na Washman Ngube?
Liam, I just want to sort of.
But
no.
You know
It's
what?
an individual.
Liam.
But you can't ask me to make ZINASU align to those things.
But Liam, I want to correct you on this issue. I don't know, maybe it's a good correction or not.
Okay.
But now you are distancing yourself
from what?
From your other cadres, in terms of Ostalos. You have distanced yourself from Ostalos. It is okay. You are allowed to distance yourself from those other cadres. It is okay.
I refuse the claim that Ostalos is my idol.
No. It's okay to distance yourself from Ostalos.
But why
am I forced?
Conversation
listen, I'm saying besides that, I just wanted to fact out that you have distanced yourself from Ostalos the same way now currently, like you are saying, ZINASU would distance themselves from any political party to do.
ZINASU will not be labored with trying to position
Liam,
itself within
okay, fine.
CCC disputes.
Liam,
Liam,
make this clear. No, Liam, make this clear for me right now. Is ZINASU related in any means or in any thread
Any form,
to do with Triple C?
Any
Currently.
form, size, shape.
Yes, any form. Any,
I think
are you
limiting
related
it to Triple C is I think it's an unfair
I think.
job. If you say to the opposition movement, to the mass democratic movement of Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe has a very big, ZINASU has a very big umbilical relationship.
No.
But
You know what,
to
guys?
Triple C,
Once we say to the opposition,
why?
it becomes general.
Yes, exactly.
It becomes general.
Because
It becomes
Triple C
general.
is not the overall representation of the.
Because guys,
okay.
once upon a time,
Yes.
they said ZINASU is related.
No, because ZINASU is.
No. Who?
No.
Where are you getting?
Wait.
Where are you getting? No.
Wait.
Where are they getting
I want to correct you.
They're related?
ZINASU clear.
Besides,
Tafadzwa Gambiza, right? Very good friend of mine. Tafadzwa Gambiza, after Mnangagwa tora power, akadedzoka president wema students. Tikati Tafadzwa uri president wema students. Ese yakaroma president wema students ekuzanu PF. Akatanga slogan echi pamberi nezanu PF, pamberi nezikosu, pamberi nefundo. You get it? ZINASU ikadedzwa kurally yaiti ikadedzwa kurally MDC. Before chanting an MDC slogan, tatanga tati viva ZINASU chi? Viva. Because it's just to asset our role as a founding affiliate.
Are you a political party or not?
No, ZINASU is not a political party. It's a students' organization.
Guys,
but ZINASU,
you know the
constitution, they're an extension of the youth league, yes, ZANU PF. That's a difference.
You know what? Today, I am going to upload ZINASU. I am going to upload ZINASU for trying to affiliate themselves. Over lecture.
Teach come down. But anyway, what I'm saying is, I do get where your point is coming from. ZINASU is different from student organizations like EFFC, EFFSC, and SASCO or DASO. We are very different. We are not.
Why?
Because
that's where the problem becomes. You know?
No. The question I want to that way. ZINASU's history is materially different from my organization Zanatara. ZINASU is not formed as an appendage of a political organization, a partisan political organization. We are formed out of the obscurity of the material realities of my students in Zimbabwe. Before kwatombone MDC, and during that time kwatone Zoom yanga to fail as well. But students decided to create something that they can fight for themselves on and fight for young people.
Okay.
SASCO, EFF Students Command, ne Democratic Alliance Students Organization were formed as a way of the DA in South Africa, the EFF in South Africa, and the ANC in South Africa to reach to students. Because we don't understand that history our foot was not complete as organizations without the students. So we create something that makes the students' movement an appendage of their agenda.
Just one question.
Which I don't say there's anything wrong with it. But in the context of ZINASU, we can't allow that history to be transported to try to represent us.
Right, Liam,
Even if a lot of our comrades have joined the opposition ranks, but it doesn't make us an appendage of the opposition. We can still exist without the opposition.
Okay, fine.
That's the argument we try to
Liam,
make.
are you attesting to the question that like today, as ZINASU and ZANU PF comes up with ideologies? No, not Zigos. ZANU PF comes up with ideologies that are matching ZINASU's ideologies.
Okay.
Are you going to back ZANU PF? Because you are, listen, Liam,
I'm going to answer with an analogy.
you are backing for the youth. You are not backing any political party.
Yeah.
But ZANU PF has said, let us give power to the youth. And ZANU PF is saying, whether there is Zikosu, yes, it's okay because it's there. But we're saying, are you going to back them as well?
ZINASU is a wing opposition.
No, it's not true.
But mainly it was.
ZINASU is not a wing.
It has moved from.
You can't support ZINASU to the opposition movement.
They are confused.
We are not. The problem is you want ZINASU to operate as a subordinate institution. which is the wrong analysis of what ZINASU is.
Mama political party only attends.
Okay, do you want us to collaborate with ZANU-PF, which acts against our interests?
Are you going to ZANU-PF?
It's a slogan. Events opposition.
Solidarity statement. ZANU ikati nasi. Okay, for this one I'll tell no, I doubt it ikati uyai. I'll tell you, okay, ndosa answer an allegory. In the mid-90s, pane president was ZINASU ainzi Runema Rumoswa. And Runema Rumoswa got a protest. Vaita protest, vaita imwe protest H2, vachenda ku ZANU-PF HQ. Vakati Mugabe should give us an office in the ZANU-PF HQ opposite yake to keep him ideologically grounded. Because by the time you oppose ISAP. But time you think that is ZINASU engere ZANU here. But that time, vari kutotara
kuti vari kusina opposition party.
No, wait, ayanga
Zumu yangese
Zumu
aiwa Zumu duwe zvisina uyu zvasina momentum
vangasiri kushowa ideological
you see your youth activists
vangasiri kushowa ideological credibility yaiconvince ZINASU at that time and then remember, Rumoswa actually says we want to keep Mugabe ideologically grounded because he's betraying the gains of the liberation struggle. Which means they actually thought at some point there was a chance that ZANU-PF could continue to be, could reform to be progressive. But we see it in 1999, ZCTU and the rest of civil society to create a working people's party, which was the MDC. Because one got to know Mugabe say Mugabe ne ZANU to fail. So what my argument is, trying to box ZINASU into rigid parties and affiliations, trying to subordinate them to institutions that in most cases are younger than them. I don't think that's intellectual and that's ahistorical. That's disregarding the history of where ZINASU comes from.
Liam, if today
that's misunderstanding where ZINASU came from. You get what I'm trying to say? And he's showing an unwillingness to try to understand that history. But even if ZINASU at some point, we stood in solidarity with the MDC. The MDC had the MDC Students' Council, which was their students' wing. But in most cases, you would notice kuti isusu taigona kutove in solidarity with the MDC Students' Council. Then number two, taigona kutoti pampacho Nelson Chamisa ataza, tatomuudza kuti apo abhaisa. Then number three, it didn't mean kuti kana tichika criticize Chamisa, it means kuti we are agreeing with ZANU-PF. It doesn't necessarily mean that the fact that we don't agree, in fact, I would say we didn't agree with ZANU-PF. It doesn't necessarily then mean that we subordinate ourselves to the whims of being an appendage of an opposition movement. Which is why even after the collapse of the main opposition in Zimbabwe, ZINASU still remains endurant and still fights for democracy without wanting to associate itself to a political party. So you can't limit ZINASU's existence to association with political parties.
This is wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
When ZINASU begins to say they are fighting for democracy,
so
then
you
now
only have
it becomes a problem.
You only have to be opposition to fight for ZINASU, to fight for democracy.
When ZINASU begins to preach out that they are fighting for democracy,
Are we not?
They should define their boundaries of democracy.
What is democracy?
Saying, we are fighting for democracy.
It includes freedom of association
to students at university.
Because
now ZINASU has failed.
Whom has it failed?
Fight for students at Chino University.
What happened?
After ZANU-PF booted them out of their hostels.
How did ZINASU fail?
ZINASU president clearly failed to comment on that issue.
Was he solicited for a comment?
So he was.
Was he solicited by who?
But students are being chased down. Why should he be solicited for those type of comments? As a president, you should be standing in solidarity. You should be standing in solidarity with those students.
Okay, fine. Skoko yarita inonzi mine shaft approach. Uruchaga pachaputika. But it's fine. Skoko yarita rotanzanzi ZINASU inopa comment pakabisa ma students. Fine, that's an error of their time. Andika, that's an error of their time.
An error of their time.
No,
you know propaganda speech.
No,
propaganda speech.
Come on. All right, it's our error. Do you want me to claim their victories too?
If you have to.
No. Comrades, we have to be realistic.
Yeah,
I am 5 years after campus. You can't expect me to claim the glory and works that we are after. Do you know 5 years after campus? That's five first year students.
But you know,
that's 5 first year students.
Yep.
The reasons why I accept my role as a former student, I'm a former student, leader. It's because I respect the existing and current leadership here union. Their mistakes can still be corrected, they can still be discussed. But I do not have the role to even also appropriate their victories to myself. Which is why also, I don't think it will be a good analysis of ZINASU's history subordinated to the history of the opposition. Because we existed before the history of the opposition. I was not yet even born by the time Maduku, Atamtambara, Wangwari Mesarasi.
Ago.
Can even Dewama Vinga Panoita SRC president, that I was very young. Kanapanita Washington Katema
KK.
Kana even also Jamisa Panita SG Wam Savagum. I was very young. Nkulego Subanga, Varigo Mararum. Nkulego Subanda. He works in Zimbabwean civil society. But he's around. No, I can't say.
Okay, all right.
But he's around. Nkulego Subanda, Panita president was not. I can't testify to the president. But there were decisions that were made. There were things that were done. But those things cannot be subordinated to the fact that just because we against how ZANU-PF was running the country. So Tama subordinates Emun Wesaka Ajita opposed to ZANU-PF.
Right. Iyo taibata iyo itazokurwadziwa kwenyu panyaya iyo. Mabatikana mdara.
No, cannot mistake. Then number 2, the current yes, of course, I admit fine. And Rambo's distance from but distance from Ostalos. No, I just rejected the fact that I'm not Ostalos. Yaguti Skokat Ostalos is my idol. No, he's not. I do have my idol, but it's not Ostalos.
Okay.
It doesn't mean I'm watering down Ostalos' brilliance, but he's not my idol. And that's a fact. The same way Nelson Chamisa is not my idol. The same way even Morgan Tsvangirai was not my idol. But I accepted him as a leader of the opposition at that time. I have my own idols.
Like Nelson Mandela?
No, he's not my idol. Mandela is not even close.
But I'm there
because he guy. Also, I recognize his liberation credentials.
No,
you a bape.
Yeah, definitely, man.
He's your idol. Fine. That's you.
We don't believe my ideas.
Of course, I believe in the liberation of Africa. I'm in solidarity with the liberation movement of Africa.
My ideas are not so boss, but there is an idol. But
he's nice idol.
No,
it's not my idol. Him himself as a person has Commander Nelson. No, he's not. I'm actually someone who is more endeared to Chris Hani, George Slovo, to Walter Sisulu, Oliver
Tambo. Mkomana no sunga because mkomana vanhu venyu mdara vanhu venyu nana chef
zvavana even ndembe che guvera kumba ndembe akama ndembe na Lenin
iwo vanhu yavo manje it's another day tofana kutaura nezvazvo iwo vanhu vavo pisa hembe idzodzo
ndara murescue university that one ma portraits out ma poster aya
madam akati
besides izvozvo
college. No, bedroom member. No. Look at this. Besides, no. We have to talk about this as parents or married people. Bedroom member. I got design with white or bachelor.
Yeah, true. So
Angambo said, the Pan-African flag. Bedroom. Even if my wife is also a Marxist and a Pan-Africanist, but
you're converting
it kills the no. I actually got attracted to that fact.
It kills the mood.
I actually got attracted to that fact. But also, we have to understand where We have to understand the functions of a space. My bedroom is my space of romance and privacy. That's why
struggle.
That's why
Not struggle.
Struggle doesn't continue.
the struggle continues in a different way.
Anzana malema.
There's no aluta.
Ufaka mathethe EFF. Umsiya nazo. Ayisi badge residence sira ufama wa bayirira. Bupeko yeme.
Chimupeko yeme.
Chikisiziro anu baba campus.
There's no aluta continue.
The struggle does not continue because you're wearing regalia.
Yeah, true.
The struggle can be bastardized because of regalia. Because rape munhu wakapfeka regalia. Totally the struggle continues. But the struggle continues for as long as you carry the consciousness in your what?
But I will say, Liam, today, if there's any chance youth activism will thrive in Africa, my president was Salos said
It makes sense. The class of 2014. It makes sense.
2014
my president
It makes sense. In fact, your president was Mungu. It makes sense now. Now it makes sense. I wonder why.
I thought the president.
It still makes sense. It still makes sense. It still makes sense. No. I not BP no kura. You need to look at this.
One day he's going to see Osalos on the ballot.
It's very good.
He's going to vote. But you also mentioned
the most accurate deployment that happened in Zimbabwe between 2018 and 2023 was Osalos becoming deputy spokesperson because his capacities suit that role. And I don't think at that time, but I'm standing committee, not National Executive Council, but standing committee, MDC. Pane munhu aigona kushape propaganda yeparty and narrative yeparty than Osalos. Yes, one already go Fadzi. Of course, Honorable Mahere had their own abilities, but I don't think politically they matched Osalos.
And I don't want to compare.
No. The issue is about issue to understand the terrain. When the terrain where propaganda dominates the parties in space, you need someone who knows how to put propaganda out and someone who inspires. Osalos akataragati. I want to say this without contradiction.
I think I don't. Comrade.
You love Osalos.
Love is a strong word.
You love me.
But a lot of people. A lot of people are from Gloti.
Jacob Mafume also made a very good spokesperson.
Jacob
Mafume, no. Jacob Mafume would debunk propaganda effortless. Jacob Mafume akaudza tafadzwa mugwadi kuti it's very senseless, unintellectual, uneducated for someone to wait.
Jacob for you.
No, so there are abilities we admire in people. I don't agree with Jacob Mafume the way he's running the city.
That's not your fault.
No. But the way he's running the city. And out of the way he dresses. That's the way he runs the city. But when he was a spokesperson, that effortlessly, I'm senseless and unintellectual, uneducated. For you to come and tell us that an opposition party in Zimbabwe, struggling with dictatorship, struggling to even get itself into government, has the power to coerce the foreign policy of a super power like America. That was spin doctoring 101. Okay. That was Jonathan Moyes' playbook.
Even I think also by election time we pay attention. We need to play at the sound. Osalos.
Osalos knows how to entice voters.
You see Osalos. Now you see why
that is ability.
A lot of people vakafungira kuti chichukuitika but akashoka a lot of people. Even you guys.
Yeah, for
But
us.
Stalo-
makashokekana
We-
kuti
we
fadzane
also-
makaba
hayi nanoshokeka
No. Ini takangosopana kuti
taona kuyellow movement
yellow movement
akatanga tota MDC Alliance spokesperson fans.
Eh, ba-
I was also trying
yellow
to-
movement ati
Yeah,
we can't we
oh,
don't
yeah.
have any tinokwanisa ku-identify
Ozi,
I was-
vanopfeka yellow vari kudis-
ndomadzenza angu shandisa even maleta head
maleta heads hazvire kumirira vanhu vachitaura pamberi pevanhu.
anhu aingunyorera pamusoro
Let's give applause to Ostalos.
munhu akaipa
No, he has these abilities.
Muna-
True,
Muna-
we acknowledge them.
Muna-
Ostalos is not.
munhu akaipa
Ostalos is not dumb. Ostalos is a brilliant guy.
My president Ostalos.
He's a brilliant guy, but I just said he's not
munhu
my idol.
akaipa for political communication asingabudikire pane vanhu watifana kuzwa kuti akaipa kuda musasiwa
Ah, no.
Inini
kuda musasiwa guys tiza zvenyu muvenye zvenyu kuda musasiwa donze kana uchibhiga uchitifadzai mahere ainopedza but kuda musasiwa ndiyari behind akudesigna mastrategy akudesigna maflyer akuita mastrategy wokuti hana wapenga
aiwakapenga
then template rari robvura torwa muvha kuenda naro ku-MDC Alliance MDC Alliance renda ku-CC saka kuda kapenga and sawana ndira kuti fadzai communication yake yanga kaipa because kuda was behind takazona paanga independent candidate akadyiwa zvake but do you think fadzai achawina because baba madesigns airova campaign yake zvanga yakaita commission dzairova waiti uyu anoita nhingiriri abva anorohwa zvake achibva azodzoka kuti ku-MDC Alliance madesigns ake avatanga kushanda communication mastrategy avo atanga kushanda because kuda musasiwa was part of that campaign abvaenda ku-CC atanga kushanda saka kuda musasiwa haasi bambi.
No, but my measurement is not about victory.
We are hating.
It's not about victory or loss. It's not about his involvement in political campaigns. I look at the way he communicates publicly.
Okay.
You know, there's a difference between a digital. I don't want to call him a mercenary. A digital reactionary. Kudamsasiwa knows how to capitalize on trends. Fine, that's an attribute of a good communicator, but I'm not saying it's not the wholesome of a political communicator. Kudamsasiwa mdara akatry kuchinja narrative. Kudamsasiwa akatry kuchinja narrative after Asante after the Mugabe endorsement of Nelson Chamisa. It failed. Because vanhu vakatoramba vachirana nazvo, but also the manner in which he approached it. Kudamsasiwa is tinoti hip hop politics. Dzaigara achiaccuse vamwe of. It's hip hop politics. That's kuti you engage on a beef perspective. But also I don't think that's also sustainably inspiring.
There is we have.
It's different from Dara. Wakamboterera. No, I'm not saying hip hop is bad, but I got hip hop politics. Yep. You engage from a beef perspective.
Yep.
Ostalos. Anditi. Ndichida kuti SRC vice president ku MSU nini. Akapa solidarity. Wait. Akati aluta contra degradante elementate. You know? When bullets begin to flourish, the struggle flourishes at what? As when bullets begin to flower, the struggle flourishes at MSU. Of course, we know that was not the direct translation. But Ruta became an inspiring catchphrase.
Comrades, what I'm talking about.
Comrades, I won.
That's not about Kudamsasiwa. It's not about.
It's not inspiring.
Because
so that doesn't make him.
I was bringing issue here with the EA as a strategist in communication. Remember, acknowledge Kuda was part of Yellow campaign effort. Are independent candidates.
There was also a fan mawari.
He was part of the campaign strategy. This flag.
Yeah. To credit the first junior parliament president.
But I know but in terms of strategy, no point.
Okay, let's say he's a good communication strategist. A communication. That's fine. That's fine. We are not aggrieved by it. But you can't say it is a good political communicator.
But
No, there's a difference.
Look at his hand from this flag for the campaign MC Alliance.
I'll give you an example. I'm a very good political thinker. I can come up with ideas, but I'm not a good organizer. Politically, I'm not a good organizer. Which is why I avoid my positions.
Organize.
District chair. Because my positions I'm organized. I'm a thinker. And I'm a charismat. I know how to say things that make people see the problem or make people see the vision and feel inspired. No, don't say it. I know how to write things. I know my capacity. But that doesn't make me the best political leader of my generation. So a lot of people don't know about this guy. Former Secretary General of Zimbabwe National Students Union. You can't scheme politics without Chiriga. You can't.
This independence
contextual. And out of Zimbabwe is soon we get tapiwa sipo. You can't scheme politics, especially students politics. Okay, in our generation, you couldn't scheme politics without involving Tapioa, because Tapioa would always out scheme you. Tapioa no wrong. Onzuisa, kuronga.
Choplana.
Then why not Taku? Taku is brave.
Yeah, Taku
anga singatye kuzvisa in the firing line. Indatombofunga kuti aba patikasungwa zvafana pa June, was it July 31 2020 protest aya. I asked myself pakazotorwa tawanda mcheiwa. Asked myself tikasungwa apa takutodzo. Very good guy. Very awesome guy. Ndikati tikasungwa apa todzoka. Takakati comrade murwadda about kudzoka. Ko nyika inouya here. You get it. Taku is brave. You had someone like Alan Moy. Alan Moy was a thinker. He still is a thinker, grounded in ideas. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that but there are spaces that they operate in that they are the best at their abilities. Those are
But moving forward.
But moving forward, so you can't then make Kudamsa Siwa the hallmark of political communication.
But Jeresi, can we agree now with what Liam Jagutaura, Juma Youth, because now we are centralizing the discussion on youth, and so can we clearly say that we cannot have much faith in organizations like ZINASU, because they are not there to promote what the youth want.
No, that's what
and then at the end of the day, these youth activists, whatever programs, they are creating, they are busy creating, just like MSU and MSU and other universities, that they are creating graduates for politics. Are you guys giving out bone eggs of politics? Because now we have Vostelos clearly abandoning and demeaning Uti Nibaf.
Organizations like ZINASU, right, cannot be subordinated to the history of the opposition or the existence of opposition, because they existed with their own historical mandates. That's number one. Then number two, these are organizations to actually look up to, because they groom leaders of the future. Whatever direction these leaders choose to take, they groom leaders of the future. And in the present, they continue to fight. That is the logic of what I'm saying. And then I actually said, but that doesn't mean that these people have monopoly over brilliance. You get it? People actually, a lot of people in ZINASU say Lenmo Jongo is the best ZINASU president we ever had. I don't agree with that notion.
Am we agreeing about brilliance?
No, he's not the most brilliant president we've ever had.
But
Lenmo Jongo and
now
is one of the most. He's one of the presidents of ZINASU I respect the most, but I don't think he's the most brilliant. I have my own
definition. Yeah, brilliance. The way you do.
What he contributed.
But brilliance is brilliance. The definition. Yeah.
No. President Jongo
He
was brilliant.
was.
Definition he was brilliant.
Yanga isiri pamusoro pemunhu wese. Pane vanhu vakakwanisa kuita zvinhu zvinogona kudarika zvavo. It's just like assuming that Arthur Mutambara was the most brilliant or most radical student leader there ever was after independence. It's not true. It's not true. Mdara kune munhu akaita Pride Mukono.
We can't. That's
Pride Mukono.
That's the other issue.
The political mentality.
No, but
wait. So
you want us to depoliticize analyzing political events?
We can't put Argo and Pride in the same.
Why?
I've told you about this ZINASU students.
No. Why?
Argo.
They are right. This ZINASU. Argo's distance from Zakura that Wongozi ZINASU. Anyway, in Rukutara Semun and legitimacy of association and participation. In the reason why Rukutara NGT, I can't say Argo was the most brilliant. But time I don't think
my feelings towards
exactly.
No. My feelings. You can't compare Argo and Pride. But I don't think
that Argo is not the most radical president of the students' movement.
Messi is not the best of voice of Tunga. Messi is not the best.
I will not allow you.
was not the best.
I will not allow you to urinate. President. There's a difference.
But what you are saying?
No,
this is a president to president conversation.
What you are saying? What I'm just saying.
I was not national president. I was SRC president. Leader neck.
But all right,
you see the problem with this student board. It fails that unionism between these institutions. And he's from MSU.
Yes.
He's going to speak about students from MSU.
But I've been Pride Mukono to use it.
And then there's Pride Mukono from Use It. Another person from
your preferred president.
Thank
My
you.
idol, Mobis Tamlam, is from Use It.
But you see the problem.
But you can't compare.
Yeah, no.
I didn't compare them.
I think
the conversation I was coming to was, I don't think it will be factually correct to assume claim like what most conventional spaces claim. Arthur Mutambara was the most radical because vakaverenga in pursuit of the elusive dream. Like, there are some people with untold stories. Then vachanyora but ativaudzire. Then also to assume kuti Jongo is the most brilliant. I don't think Jongo was the most brilliant. President Jongo was brilliant. I don't think he was the most what?
Ndiani man, choice ani.
No, inindile munhu wangu.
Ndopi munhu wangu.
It's not an overarching idea.
Zvikutaurwa nevana.
It's not an overarching idea, but your opinion yangu. Why am I saying so? Because you see, when it comes to political leadership, and there are things that inform what we think was great, and things that inform what we think was crass. When it comes to President Zamchia, the reason why I think President Zamchia was one of the most brilliant, because he ran with an ideology, with a philosophy, not an ideology, a philosophy that I ran with. You should be able to lead on the streets and in the historic libraries. Uchipa thought uchinyora, but uchiverenga article kana academic paper rako. At the same time, urima students kana urimu vanhu uchiva organize kuti vafight dictatorship. To me, that makes a complete revolutionary. Lenin akasiya nyora, but aka lead a revolution. Mao akasiya nyora, a lead a revolution. Mugabe haana kunyora.
Anonyora.
Now you want to follow
But-
But last week.
I'm a communist and a Marxist.
My last words. Nguwa zaenda.
All right, fine. My alright, yeah.
Aye.
Guys, to be honest,
Aye.
my last words zangu. Whoever thought fucked us up today. Hey, they unfucked us. We are happy today. Thank you, comrades. Thank you for coming. Hey. But yeah,
Let's talk about the boss. No, guys, I have an honest opinion. I'm a Bosso fan. Die-hard Bosso fan.
Shame.
I'm still proud of our draws. That we're not securing 0 points.
Yep.
But I'm still not happy with not securing a win.
Me
And
win,
I'm very disappointed with how people try to intrude into Bosso matters.
Amuna mari.
Mnamari.
Hazvina basa tiri timu yavarombo. We the people. Varombo tamuka. Hatina muligi.
Musikadye. Amupfeka majezi. Varombo support your team.
Inangu I'm a proud
Muna
Bosso.
supporterwa chitimu chenyu. Tigananda chinouya cheSabari chocontrola now.
Aiwa.
Yes.
Ndoka tisiri kuda izvo zvokuti munhu anouya oti ndakupai mari chiteerere zvandiri kuda.
Muna ndi mali siduzi.
Vamugabe vakati Zimbabwe will never be a colony again. Statement rotofanira kuenda raibva papi? Raibva pakuti IMF yanga yatipa ma development assistant grants. Andi vakati matipa mari yekuti vake infrastructure nekufinance kuti vanhu vaende kuchikoro nekudla. Hazviroti makutudza zvekuita. So it's the same thing.
Kana wapuwa.
Ukatipa mari yekuti maplayer apfeke mudara isi team yako.
But kana washingo wazopuwa mari.
I think those are ndisina kupiwa. Ndosina nditerere. Ndoita zvemusoro wako. Ndikaipiwa. Ndoita zvemusoro wako.
Unotorerwa.
No.
There's
something.
But
yeah. My last words are like, you know what? I just hope and I wish that one day, you know what? ZINASU, clear where they stand, you know, because you see, as Zimbabwe, I'm not saying, and Papa, get me right. Whether we're in solidarity, now it's a little bit difficult to stand in solidarity with ZINASU or any other student activist and stuff, because we don't know where they stand. Actually, because now, as far as Liam was saying,
that I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
True, yeah. Well
because now, Liam, it seems as if ZINASU has their own capacity to form their own political party.
we do.
And
We just choose not to.
and run their own politicians. And
Very true.
So let's have that. Either they are running for the students, in campuses, or they are not running for any other students who are off campus. And then for students who are off campus, we have people who are running, youth activists who are running for my students are off campus.
Okay.
Yep.
In my last words, introduce
Donkey King.
Donkey King.
Newish.
Wish nebio.
Disney Wish. There's another one, Disney Wish, teacher about rebelling against an authoritarian.
Rebellious about Jenny.
Gonna rebellion.
But Jenny,
It's a Disney movie. Socialization.
Saka makati no ari to wish ne Donkey King. Then my last pani fight ya chamisa na opo. Who said one?
None. I hope both teams lose.
Zero.
Okay, let me give an explanation. When Hopel and Jonathan were busy misleading this Kada, kuti ZANU-PF is afraid of you. You remember that post? ZANU-PF wants structures because they don't know who to co-opt. You know, Chamisa was listening. Chamisa ndakafunga kuti inenge rhetoric in 2022 pakati who beat you structures after rhetoric yekuti we have our structures, we just don't declare them. Vaenda with the structureless movement. I was not in agreement with that. In the post year 2022 and build strong structures with counterintelligence initiatives to preserve the movement's integrity and what. It was a long post. Then nasi vakunetsa, these two were buddies.
Yeah, but in
But katombomulasha. You remember that tapiwa anditi. Inini tapiwa mfeso wangu. Zvokutoda. Tapiwa tichilasha ife tasalasha but taitaura chokwadi. Vanhu vakaenda unatapiwa vakathreaten livelihood yatapiwa. Tried to go to his place of work. He was working for a local NGO in Zimbabwe to try to get him fired for criticizing Hopo. So today now manje vanhu vakuchema indomene yako vachemedza. No, both teams.
but even Brian Kagola, I think Elder Brian adds that my buddies mufana kana manetsana mufana fonerana.
No, plus besides also, but Elder Kagola from a point of an elder.
In a couple. Can a couple at a squirrel?
Elder Kagola from a point of an elder. Mdaraka Goro, if anyone like Mdaraka Goro, Mdara Lewanika, Mdara Bomba, Mdara Mahia, Vaka Wipa Vakoma na wewe, Vakapa opinion pepe. It's a generational communication. But in Rutasa from the perspective of someone who watches things from not from outside but from below.
Don't some mix. Kana wachingoisa vamwana uvoisa uyu.
No, Mdara Mahia na Mdara Bomba is same generation.
Same generation, but uisa Lewanika.
Mdara Lewanika. No, same generation.
No, Mahia na uyu.
If Bomba na McDonald, what is same generation?
Bomba na
How old is Mdara Bomba?
Ndati Bomba na uyu same generation na Lewanika same generation.
That's what my mid 40s. It's not the same generation.
ZINASU is a problem to Zimbabwe.
No,
I think Zimbabwe is becoming a problem to Zimbabwe.
I think so. Now I think so. I think
ZINASU
now
is big. No, ZINASU is big.
Nuti tikaza KK Lewanika chichi ndo
makora. Let's calculate the age. Karisara generation turarone makora manga. Generation no make one 10 to 20 years. One is same generation.
Okay.
Inini na Benon. Tine almost
saka yo na
Inini na Shakespeare ama uswa. No na Matai mdara. You can't even say good dance same generation. Me and Matai are brother and sister mdara.
You're not part of my president.
Ruti yo na
Ostalos.
Yeah.
Ostalos is not more than 5 years older than me.
It's like muri same generation.
It's the same generation.
My
brother, who president?
Na Mgwadi na uyu muri same generation.
No, Mgwadi ane 40 years. It's same generation na Obit.
Ulikuwa nati uyakura wati 20 years. Wati 20 years.
What fine inna Mgwadi na Obit. Nana Dimbari. It's the same generation. Same generation.
I think
Mama Pesa.
Wakupinda mzoro.
No, what I was trying to say was but anyway, what I was trying to say was no, as my last words. Open a champion. I hope both teams lose because Indomene irkuchemedza. Hope whatever reasons he had to volunteer information to Chamisa, participate in Chamisa's things, it was on elite basis. And Chamisa buying Hopo's narratives was on elite basis. And we know that there are cadres who were on the ground and grassroots, who were genuine, that suffered wounds for trying to call out certain wrong things happening from either side. I hope both teams what? Not in Newcastle Man, you and Liverpool. That's what I hope. Anyway,
and last words.
And then my last words are Zimbabwe is at an epoch where we now need to confront a class struggle. It's not about Liam being young, because I'm only young for the next 5 years. Come on, tell us I'm 30.
Shame. Oh man.
No matter what you call it, I'm in the third floor. You know? But it's for as long as I'm still young.
Yeah.
I can die young. Chitepa nogona kufa. Chitepa kafa but kusununguka kwa Zimbabwe kunati se? Hakuna umira. So what I wish would happen and what I want to do going forth is to be able to communicate in a way. In fact, everyone in our space should be able to communicate to people younger than us, people interested and even older than us, to understand what we're fighting for. You see, history said ZINASU debate. It's from a point of narratives. Not narratives from ZINASU, but narratives from the public and their perceptions. We need to be able to communicate with vanhu vanonzwisisa tiri kurwira zvinhu zviri just hatisingorwira kuti isusu toda power
tiende patable
nyika isununguke. Then the other thing is varombo tiri kufanira kusvinura.
ungori kupi nguva yese problem yako
varombo tiri kufanira kusvinura. Ndiri kuzambia, I was not just dormant. The general secretary of a party called National Freedom Front, is part of the Tonse Alliance, the alliance yakaforward Brian Mduvile. I was their political advisor. Of course, I did not succeed. Okay. I did not succeed in advising my friends into government, but I succeeded in agreeing with my friends that we have to make Varombo to wake up.
But you comrade independent baba wake up Varombo manje I problem yekuti
Varombo atina mari.
PF yangari dictator
I don't disagree.
And now you are advising them. You see our comrades now.
No, mira.
In a way, those guys they created malos arwadzisa right now.
And this kuramba.
That HH akwira pamusoro pe media house achitiza wakomana
vava. And there's a minister, a former minister akafa.
Power. Now with those laws anongotaura kuti apa kuti kana makuda kupindurira hurumende munoita sei. So ini ndiri kuti varume musabetsera. Uri kuona kuti manje makubetsera vanhu vari mbavha
pamutana mukoma DRC handiti. That's very true. Nyaya yekuti PF was a tyrannical organization. The reasons why, when my friend
but
came
even right now, even Makeba Zulu
Makebi Zulu, of course.
Yeah.
I had disagreements with Makebi Zulu being a running mate. I actually preferred my friend being a running mate. But I want to put this argument. But anyway, when the NFF was formed and Anonza Harris Muntala, comrade, I don't agree with the PF. Because the PF were totalitarian. They ran a police state in Zambia. But I equally don't agree with the UPND. Why? Because the UPND, they can promise democracy. But they are neoliberal. What is austerity? But we are in a moment of history where we are saying our enemy is capitalism. So that knowing our enemy is capitalism. Because the PF did what it did. It is support Wanechi, Ne West. So I used to fight at least one enemy and a power issues. The PF ya parara. Ndosaka vari kuti need an alliance. And it
Ngawambo foul.
But it's also to form an alliance, a united opposition. The running issue is cost of living. It's okay. But how do you deal with my contradictions and instruments? No, Zambians understand who they hate, not who they love. He was not exploiting it as a weakness, but I thought the pragmatic explanation of political situation in Zambia. We don't think we can win in isolation. And it the socialist part of Zambia. The socialist part of Zambia is one leftist party. It's just one G. UNIP two three. But there are 13 parties. The mass will vote for 13 parties. That is fine. Because even the main opposition. You understand it? It was a pragmatic approach to power. I'm not saying there's an excuse for people making compromises. No. But it was a pragmatic excuse a pragmatic approach to power. You understand the political terrain. It's fine, comrade. But the issue is continue dominating the police. But in Mukatasa, running policy, Tonse Alliance was making the livelihoods of the people better, addressing the cost of what? Living. Wajikiwa. It's okay. I think Makajikiwa, because people are still emotional about the PF.
Chaizo.
But I don't think that makes Hakainde the best person.
Whatever. Those people they created malos are kwasungiri. So it must be a lesson. Kunever who create malos. My last words yeah. I'm not feeling I'm in the chamber and I tachimba namo baba unozungupe songo ngoita blank.
Chambane namo.
Pindai.
Nanguda kucheka comrade mamuri musini wangu kwa high school. Pa mamuri ma 11 and I think mushira 11 and form 3.
Really?
Pa wanaika.
Oh. Unyiri pa wanaika.
Wanaika for 11 na pa wanaika.
So unoziva pandingarigwa election.
Tara elections vakatanga undara mna.
Ndakamata mndara.
All by one neighbor did.
Yangu padzete.
Oh. Ini dzetse, but those were his last days.
No kuchungwiza.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Chungiza pakanzi musha mkuru.
You should be late. Kuma schools, eh?
Kuma schools.
No.
Kuma schools varenda Canada.
But I feel like my youth
Oh really? I didn't know.
It is the time yokuthi my youth from all different political parties or spheres of life, they must be together, and champions their causes.
Yeah.
What my youth? Why is there? Even I feel like the government also, even military you support
majority of people are in army, my youth, my GD, my general duty.
Yeah.
One is Saturday.
They know.
America create allegedly American military ndio create internet ikapa.
It's not alleged. There are documentaries about it. There are scholarships about it.
Nditenda neku safe side ndozo chaka visa maybe that name pa mulo.
Mona visa Cuba.
Kunzara.
Anchamura kutiza.
Saka ndikuti haifani ngotoramba achiti uyu because iwo they can't control zvinhu zvavasingakwanisi kuti fanda nazvo kuita sei. Saka vanofanira kucreata vogadzira vanhu avo vacho vanokwanisa internet yavo so that vakondre kwete kukondra internet isi yavo.
True.
Jurisdiction. They can't for too long.
But comrade wangasara pedza.
Wangapedza. Avapedza. Ndinatozokuda zvangu. Ndavunza nyaya yekuti ishe kuti opana masine activist mimi vanozotsvaga mabasa anowanikira wamufighters.
Right. I'm happy this question came up. Mabasa anowanika. Inini hangu I understood kuti okay, so there's what we call the scenario mapping. I was trained in this. Nevanhu vakatondinzwira tsitsi. I understood kuti alright. Inini I'm a ZINASU guy. Very radical handed. Let's look at it from conventional basis. Because kada kuinjure some factors ukuthi I'm brilliant. No. Kada kuti pana vanhu vanofunga ndiri brilliant. No. Ndakati, do I think a person like me qualifies for a job in government? No. Do I think if I work in government, no. Kwanza kuita zvandira kuita? No. So what was the best spot? Private sector or civil society? But at civil society, ndinokwanisa kuwana basa ndikaona ndikati yes ndikazvibvunza ndikati organization yakati anditika. Then I applied for an internship. I'm always grateful to Women's Academy for Leadership and Political Excellence, WALPE. Vakanditora mdara vamadhaka vakandita programs intern anti Eunice angazvitara angari muintern wangu. Yes. Then ndapedza chikoro vakandita GT. Then after that I went to Zimbabwe Human Rights Monitors platform. Mukaenda pa YouTube nanditori anchor wayo. I worked there. Then from that time I left ndikashanda kwa tools. Because ndakato understand the space. So mabasa anowanika. But you can't assume that mabasa anowanika mu space iri kuwanikwa nevamwe vakafana, not vakafana but vamwe asiri iwewe. There's a space where people like you find jobs. Havana pane zgoso. Mpano zgoso akafunga kuenda ku ministry anowana basa. Because munhu echi wezana. You get it? Then kune munhu angari apolitical akaenda corporate world. Especially the super corporate world. Anowana chi? I have friends varushana ma bank.
What is enough?
No? Vanga somebody politically involved.
Okay.
But I have friends who don't go to ZINASU. Is what there are big shops in civil society. You don't know nyara sometimes but consultancy. But all I'm trying to say is mabasa no one.
Hauzoniwo kuti kune mabasa because wailiyo.
Hakuna. People should not be misled into that. Ndawana taura can charge we should not allow our students to go to
Wanopa fear vanhu politics to awani basa.
Kunyeba. President Pride Mukono vakati vadzingwa chikoro vaita sei vachitry kufighta kudzokera kuchikoro vakatomboshanda in Zimbabwe civil society and President Pride Mukono vane masters. You get what I'm trying to say? So the issue is hakuna kusina space for anyone.
Okay.
But nyaya yangu iripo ndeyekuti who knows where their space is. You get what I'm saying? Indakaziva kuti space iyo iriko because ndani nevanhu that would guide me. So I think the mandate will be on people like myself, Mkoma DRC, everyone here. We all have younger people than us. Vatinoziva kuti vane potential to guide them kuti we have space enda ukati. I think what I'm known for my students union is Mkoma Liam have ignore anyone. Mkoma Liam is not tired to tell you kuti professionally what direction you can take, not to instruct but to advise. Kuti professionally how you can move. That's what's known about Mkoma Liam. ZINASU.
Aiwa, Mkoma Liam maita basi. Katukate
Chiri Mkoma.
urwa.
Zochekwa futhi kuZINASU.
No.
It's